behind the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, July 25th. August, September, October, November, December. 5 months till Christmas. Don't they do? Why is Christmas in July, I think? I like the Hallmark Channel.
I think it's because it's halfway.
I get like July 1st would be halfway. Wouldn't June 25th be halfway? Like today, we're close. Got to start wrapping the presents, putting the trees up, putting the lights up. No, not yet. Do you have people in your neighborhood, Chris, that leave the lights on all year?
No. But our neighborhood, it's like just a few houses do lights.
Really?
And there's only like one that does like a major show.
But they all do fireworks.
Yes.
Not big into Christmas, but 4th of July. Woo!
Oh, and there's another house that has the Jack Skellington.
What's that?
That's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they have that for Halloween, and then that's left up through Christmas.
Okay, that's probably okay, I guess. I'm trying to think in our neighborhood. We're a big, Christmas display neighborhood, let's say. People put lights up, and I'm trying to think if people have lights on all year. I think if they do, it's maybe just the white lights, so it doesn't feel like, I don't know. I'll have to do some inventory.
There's also a house in our neighborhood. I haven't asked them, but I'm pretty sure they got purple lights all year round.
They're lighting the beam?
They only go up when the Kings win.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So they turn them on if the Kings win. If not, not tonight. Not tonight. Did that work in Summer League? Did they apply that for the California Classic?
I don't think so.
Good morning to everyone out there. Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud, this fine Thursday morning here on Sacktown Sports. You can reach us at our text line, 916-339-1140, on our phone line. Those work. We have phones. 800-920-1140. Maybe 916-339-1140. I know the text line is that. Maybe I should call the show one time.
Also our line.
That's also our phone line?
Yes.
Can we confirm that?
Yes.
I'm going to call now. This is very much a Carmichael Dave bit right here. By the way, did you see his travel adventures yesterday? Wow. Yeah. I guess you did. Come on, Chris. What was you are laughing. So what made you laugh about his adventures to?
Because nothing's ever easy with Dave.
Well, that can be the case in travel. All right, so I'm calling. I'm going to do it on speaker. Oh, yeah.
Sacktown Sports.
Hello.
What do you want to talk
about? Yeah, I'd like to talk to the guys.
All right. One moment.
Dale Earnhardt here. Okay, that is our phone.
What here?
So what was your favorite part about see, if it was just Dave, would it make you feel better? But the fact that it's his family with him?
Well, I'm sure that's why he's taking it hard.
Chris, you could fake your amusement a little bit better.
Oh my God.
Okay, I think we need to talk this out. So I got to look back on social media exactly.
We know with Dave, he always likes to say that he's against jinxes and stuff like that. But he also puts like, well, the worst case scenario would be this situation.
And he was pretty close to the worst case scenario.
Yes.
I mean, within reason. So I didn't get the last update. I remember he was saying something about how long they were going to delay. Did he end up having to take a bus or a train or something?
Oh no, he rented his car. He's driving to.
But that was not part of the plan.
No, a one.
Yes, say it.
A 1 hour drive turned into an 8 hour drive.
So what was it that officially happened?
I believe there was a climate change protest at the Frankfurt airport.
Right. Yeah, and then he even got to the point where it was like, here's an idea, let's land on the protesters. I'm like, okay, he's getting salty. Someone's suggesting you fake your empathy a little bit better. That's MC.
I was trying.
You were trying, but it just got too comfortable. Yeah, so if you are
plus in my family, like when the worst happens, usually all of our reactions is to laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I would say on this.
When I'm just thinking of this now. I have a cousin that used to live in St. Louis, and his parents just happened to have been visiting. My grandma, and he got lost in the woods in St. Louis. And it's not like you're in the Yosemite or anything.
Right.
You're in the middle of a city. Basically, all you have to do is go straight and you'll
get out of the woods.
You'll get out of the woods.
Yeah.
And he was like circling. So
there's 20 trees and he couldn't get out.
So he's calling his parents and we're getting updates and the entire family is there. And we're all laughing like it's the funniest thing in the world. And his mom is saying, oh, they say that they're going to have to send up a helicopter to guide him out. And the whole family erupted in laughter. And
not panic, just laughter.
Yeah, and my grandma is like, Mijo, it's not funny. This is very serious. It's like, Grandma, he's in the middle of a city. I'm like, this is like getting lost in Sacramento.
Yeah. We will find him. And I'm guessing it didn't take very long.
It was like one of those things they had to put the like reflective blanket over him.
No.
I don't know, but that's what I assumed.
You just have that visual.
I do have that vision in my head.
He was gone. They're giving him water and food, and he was gone for 20 minutes. Oh, my goodness. Good stuff. But travel can be a nightmare. Apparently, Carmichael Dave has his travel nightmare. When I just got back, our trip was, knock on wood, relatively great. Actually, I'm trying to think of any travel issues, but the trip prior was one of my worst, which was the one coming back from also New Orleans, but it was the Kings play-in game that there was, maybe that was our version of jinx / karma, because I was with Deuce and another person with the Kings traveling party. And we were kind of making fun, I would say, a little bit of some of the other media members here that had just some goofy flights home. I mean, there's no direct from New Orleans to Sacramento, but some people were going to like Atlanta and home, Virginia and home. I'm like, you're going the wrong way. Detroit and home. We were Dallas, Sacramento. And it's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, usually with New Orleans, it's like Dallas or Houston.
Yeah. And like the one I just took, we were Denver. On the way out, weirdly, we were Burbank. Well, I went to Vegas, but the family was Burbank to New Orleans. But anyway, we were circling Dallas for a while. I'm like, this is like, our flight's not that long to Dallas. Something's up. And there was major rain. This was obviously after the playing game. So it's the day after the Kings lose, season's over. You're already kind of a little bit salty, and it's early in the morning. And this was the first time I ever had one of these, Chris, where we were, like, now prepare for landing. Okay. And you're looking at it and you see that it's raining, and I'm just kind of watching. We're getting closer, just about to touch down. And then whoop, we went back up. I've never had one of those. I'm like, oh man. Okay. Well, and then we ultimately circled and then landed, but that's where we were on the taxiway forever. And they moved our flight. I couldn't make my flight. Southwest adjusted that, and we were now the next day. And yeah, that was a nightmare. But Dave sounds like that's the worst. I don't know would you rather have travel nightmare going to your trip or coming home?
Going.
Yeah, I think so too. Because then you can make up for it. You're like, we still got here. This is gonna still be a good vacation, assuming it's multiple days. And for them, they're going to be gone a while. But coming home, I will say this, that is very true. It's like, I did not want to leave my vacation, But the one thing I couldn't wait to get home for was to be like the saying, be in your own bed. And that was very true because the last week in New Orleans, I was on an air mattress and it was fine. But you're like, just can't wait to get to the bed. That's where it makes you appreciate. Like when we talk all year, we will when the Kings go, like, oh, what's the difference between home and road? They get the nice hotels, and they do. But there is something nice about being
actually. Whenever I travel, usually their bed's better than my bed. So,
what's going on with your bed, Chris?
So I'm going like, oh man, I have to go home to my own bed.
Yes. All right. So salespeople out there, we need to work on a bed endorsement for Christopher Laud. Let's get him the finest quality bed.
I'm gonna break in the bed.
Have you ever been in a waterbed?
I used to have a waterbed.
You did?
When I was a little kid.
You know what? Now this is I'm remembering this,
which is probably a terrible thing because for like what I remember is just having terrible nightmares as a child, and I'm guessing the waterbed didn't help.
Are there waterbeds still being made?
I don't know.
Because I feel like that was a thing. I don't know. I wouldn't say the majority of people had waterbeds. It was always like, oh my gosh, they've got a waterbed. So it was like you knew someone that had a waterbed. We never had a waterbed. I think I wanted one because it sounded cool. Was it cool?
No.
Not at all.
Like I said, nightmares.
I mean, these are silly questions, but like, when you're a kid, like, hey, I could jump on the bed. Like, could you jump on the waterbed?
No. And from like what I remember, this was like, I was super young. I want to say I had it till I was like 6 or something like that. 6 or 7. So I didn't have it that long.
One of our regular Zebra, my brother was a waterbed salesman for a while. Man. Yeah, I can't imagine. I don't know the last time I saw one. I feel like it's decades. I'm still talking about it.
Talking about it for decades.
I don't know the last time I've seen a waterbed. Wow. So Christopher Laud grew up on a waterbed. That maybe explains all the things that we know. Why?
No, there's way more.
Way more? You won't trace it to the waterbed?
No, there's a lot of stuff.
Today, we've got a lot of stuff to discuss here on the show. Multiple guests for you today. It is Thursday. There's some of the regulars that you know and love. That means we're going to talk business, sports business.
Good at business.
With Kelly Brothers. That's at 7:30. It says here on a rundown, Sam Amick from The Athletic.
I know I'm shamelessly pumping the poll here.
And Sam, I don't know if he does that differently in Paris, but he's joining us via remote, literally remote. We've had Sam walk the cities of Boston and other places, but Sam's going to be international Sam. That's coming up at 8. And at 7 o'clock, our first guest of the day, a little less than an hour from now, we will have Michael McCarthy, senior writer at Front Office Sports. We're going to talk about the new television NBA deal and some of the inner workings and potential lawsuits. And this thing could get interesting. I mean, I think it's a great financial boom for the NBA, but it's not done.
This seems like a cash grab.
Maybe it's done, but it's not done in the sense that we're going to keep hearing about this in the news because some people are unhappy about this. So we've got that. We've got Safer Out, 3 for Madness. We'll close things up with a little crosstalk and celebrity birthdays. Niners at 9. So much more to get to, and you can be here with us. And we appreciate all of you that are here with us. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube page. You can check us out. You can see Chris through the mist of like that foggy, it's almost like an exotic shot we've got there on our YouTube. Unfortunately for you guys, I'm crystal clear. You'll be able to see me, but you can do all of that and just sit back, enjoy your Thursday with us here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Pros, now's your chance to find the deals you need during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's.
Right now, get up to 20% off select Werner and Little Giant ladders. Plus, save $60 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 2-tool combo kit. Was $229, now $169. Shop the brands you trust in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/26. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
All right, before we get to cut number 1, a few things from our YouTube chat. I had a waterbed in the mid-80s. More comments. The absolute worst is throwing up on a waterbed. Not an easy cleanup. As a youngster,
gross.
I feel like you vomit a little bit more. Any vomits, throw-ups on the waterbed that you remember?
I remember.
Want to put that in the past.
I was pretty good about getting out of the bed, but not making it to the bathroom.
Just the walk along the way, trying to catch things or just let it go.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
My mom was a saint.
Yes. Gosh, that feeling of when you know it's going to happen is one of the worst. It's like, oh, something's not good. Oh, boy. Got to go. All right, let's get to cut number 1. Cut number 1.
You guys noticed Trent wasn't out there today, so just before you have to ask, guys, in report, it's contract related. John's speaking with his representatives, been doing it for a while. He'll continue to go, and when they work it out, I'll be pumped to see him.
That is Kyle Shanahan, coach of your San Francisco 49ers. Okay, well, we talked yesterday about Brandon Ayuk. Hold in is what they're calling it because he's there. He demanded a trade, but he's kind of around, being supportive of his teammates, has more of the look of a guy that wants to make it work. Trent Williams, I'm pretty sure the 49ers aren't going to trade. I think he wants his money and is one of the greatest players of all time, honestly. Still one of the best going at his age, at his position. And if he wants his money, the Niners are either in a spot where they do it or the guy retires probably. So this one's a little bit more serious to me in a sense of the 49ers offensive line is okay, maybe a little bit above okay. He is great. So put it that way. There's 5 pieces to the offensive line. I know you can add tight end and running backs and other different things, but let's just take the 5, left tackle, left guard, center, and the right tackle, right guard. He is an anchor piece. He's hugely important. He's considered and has been considered the best offensive lineman for years. Even if there's a slight drop off, and which I don't think there has been, but let's just walk that road and say there is. You still have one of the best offensive linemen on an offensive line, again, that's maybe slightly above okay, but think about 1/5 of it is fantastic. So if that part is out, that's a major issue for an offense that's really good, that needs its offensive line, a quarterback that needs its offensive line, a run game led by Kyle Shanahan's system that needs a good offensive line. So I think it will all work out, but here's yet another contract holdout with the San Francisco 49ers. We'll have more on that coming up, certainly on Niners at 9 as well. Much more ahead on that, but let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Williams crossing over, crashing into traffic. Robinson, a two-handed hammer.
Robinson, a two-handed hammer? That's why Chris is the best. He found an Orlando Robinson, or that could just be Robinson. And I wouldn't know.
I could have just grabbed a random Robinson.
Ramil, David. I know there was a Bill Robinson in baseball years ago. Anyway, Orlando Robinson, welcome to the Sacramento Kings. We'll get to know you a little bit more. We got some info on him later in the show. But yes, the Kings did make a move. Oh, but it wasn't what I thought they would do. But I thought you wanted a move. They added a little more depth. They've got one more roster spot available. They filled one of the 2 And it's a big front court help. How much will he play? Good question. That's something we will attack and address a little bit later in the show. But a little more size, younger player, but has been in some good systems, good programs, did some good things at Summer League. So we'll talk a little bit more about Orlando Robinson. But, the Kings, as I said yesterday, I think they feel really good about their starting 5 and 6, 7, 8 maybe. They can always get that better and do some tweaking. But right now, the roster's starting to take a little bit of shape. They've still got a little more time and maybe some more ideas ahead. But this is the latest one yesterday. The Kings officially adding Orlando Robinson. All right, cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
It was a lot of fun. It's 16 months since the last time I've been on the mound in a big league ballpark, so it definitely was a long journey, but definitely very thankful and excited to be back out there today.
Robbie Ray, what a debut for the San Francisco Giants yesterday. I started by watching that first inning going, woof. Hit by pitch, multiple walks, walked in a run. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an absolute mess. And he wiggled out of that jam. It was 1-0. I'm like, well, I don't know. A lot of pitches in that first inning. Not sure how this is going to go. But, look, you're going to cut the guy some slack. As he said, hadn't pitched in months, 16 months. And then he was brilliant. What, he strike out Ohtani 3 times? Or he struck out 3 times in the game. I think he got him twice. No hits allowed through 5 innings. Struck out 8. Helped the Giants get a win, and he was fantastic. And I was thinking about this last night while I was watching the game. Chris, I would think as an athlete, the moment you have a serious injury, whatever that fine timeline is of like when you're like reflecting internally, when you're like if there's serious pain, okay, but like if you shred a knee for a pitcher, Tommy John surgery. But the difference on the Tommy John surgery, a pitcher knows he's done, and he knows he's done for a while, and then he knows he's got some serious rehab. But I wonder when that thought in their head turns like, man, everybody that comes back, most people that come back from Tommy John are really good. And so I don't know when that part happens, because I'm sure the initial shock of, oh no, I'm done. How serious is this? Oh, I'm going to have surgery. There's going to be a long rehab. But how many pitchers now, it's like, I don't think they want to have Tommy John, but that's not the end of the world for these guys anymore.
It almost feels like it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Pitcher.
And so, again, I don't know, like, I think it's anything. I've talked to, people that became Kings or former Kings. It's like when they're traded, there's like a shock, like, hey, I wanted to be here. I didn't want to be traded. This team doesn't want me. But then the switch flips to, well, I'm excited to go to this new team because they want me. So I don't know if that happens for pitchers. It's like, man, my season's over. Maybe my season and a half is over. But when I come back, I'm going to have like a bionic arm. Well, Robbie Ray was great. He helped the Giants get a win. I don't know if bigger picture, how much more it's going to do for him and for them, because they got a long way to go. But certainly in a long year, that was an inspiring outing. You beat your rivals. You're not going to catch the Dodgers, but the Giants needed that win. They probably needed that boost. Trade deadline's coming up. I don't know if that makes them more active, less active, however impact it has. But if we just isolate the game of Robbie Ray, he was awesome. He was absolutely awesome yesterday. All right, like we said, we got a jam-packed show. Our first guest coming your way in about 30 minutes or so when we check in on the NBA television deal from Front Office Sports. Senior writer there, Michael McCarthy, will join us. That's coming up. We got Safer out. But next, so how do we explain this? The U.S. already has a loss in the Olympics. Wait, they start tomorrow. Well, we'll explain about opening ceremonies, what's underway already, and how we've already fallen behind. We've got that coming up.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Thursday, we're looking at plenty of sunshine after a comfortable start to the morning. Temperatures will heat up this afternoon. We're looking at highs in the range of 100 to 104. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. Whether you purchase a new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, Elk Grove Honda has the right Honda at the right price. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper here to remind you that the famous Bay Area pizza company Amici's East Coast Pizzeria has just opened its first location in Sacramento, offering takeout and delivery to the greater Sacramento area. Visit amicis.com and click on the Sacramento banner for their menu and to order. And as a special deal all this week, enter promo code SAC20 at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order. So when you want to enjoy great pizza with family and friends this week, use promo code SAC20 at amicis.com and Amici's delivers.
Imagine the most beautiful panoramic setting, endless waves crashing on a beach, kids playing in the park. Now, right smack in the middle of your perfect picture, imagine just one piece of litter. It doesn't fit, does it? And it simply doesn't belong anywhere, certainly not in California, not even one piece. Good news, if we work together, we will change it all. Clean California, zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com. or in stores at your local CVS.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. It's Brett Young and Chase Rice at Thunder Valley on August 3rd. Plus, Jason Mraz and the Super Band will be rocking Thunder Valley on August 9th. Then head out of the heat to higher elevation for the Truckee Music Festival on August 9th and 10th, featuring Kip Moore and Sublime. And here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater, featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donnie Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. Rounding out this rockin' lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival from September 12th through the 15th, featuring Joe Nichols and Smash Mouth. For information and tickets, visit grapefestival.com. And then stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
So yesterday on the show, I spent some time talking about my quest to go to the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Went in 20 1984. One of the greatest things I've ever experienced. Was very fortunate to go to a lot of different events. I know it's a different time. I don't even know how expensive tickets will be. I'm sure they'll be out of this world, but I really, really want to go. I really do, as most likely would be as a fan. But I was telling Chris yesterday, I said, look, I got 4 years to figure out if I could be an announcer in one of these sports. And immediately I jumped to breakdancing. Like maybe there's something I could figure out how to be a play-by-play voice for. But that's taken at the moment. There's some new sports that are coming in. So I don't know. I'm still working on that quest. Regardless, I'm going to try to get to LA in 4 years to watch the Olympics, which technically begin tomorrow. But I also was looking at something else yesterday, Chris. The Big Ten had their media days. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. We got another clip on that today. But they put out their new broadcast because a bunch of people joined the Big Ten network that came over from the Pac-12 network. And I was able last year I did a few things for the Pac-12 network, which was a lot of fun. Did a couple soccer matches. So I'm looking at the broadcast list, and they were talking about people doing football games. And I'm just reading through, and names like I know from out here, Guy Haberman and Lincoln Kennedy and some other people. And then I read, and Jason Ross. And I'm like, what?
You?
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? And it was Jason Ross Jr. And actually, I've heard of it. I think he's out of Detroit. And
Weren't
weird.
you in Detroit about 24 years ago?
Could be. But it's weird to see your name in print when it's not you, which I'm guessing for you has not happened.
No.
Yeah. There is someone in our community in Sacramento, greater Sacramento area that does tattoos, because I've seen bumper stickers or stickers on light poles or different things. Like Jason Ross tattoos, and people have taken that picture and sent it to me. Oh, when did you get into this? I'm like, side job. So someone in town, someone in this general area does that, but that's weird to see. I know there's some other famous Jason Rosses that.
That was
a pretty good one. I'll just say as a male actor.
Yes.
Of that kind.
That is correct.
And I would say is a little younger than me, but I don't know. I just wonder. In my mind, I wonder if like someone in my grade school goes, hey, do you know what Jason Ross ended up becoming to do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We've looked it up. So anyway, so Olympics, I'm excited. It begins tomorrow, technically, because we've got the opening ceremonies. But Chris, it started with soccer.
Well, there's a lot of I also saw rugby yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of things going on.
And I think part of it is because some of them take a little time to fill out the field and figure out the tournament. So USA Soccer was in it. This is the first time they've been in the Olympics since 2008, I saw. And scoreless at half, but 3-0 final, a loss. So we're already down. I mean, I'm already down on Team USA, just in every sport. We're trailing in everything. So soccer loses there. I'm guessing, much like any other thing that we're kind of up against the world, chances of medaling are probably pretty small.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to bet on Team USA Soccer, that'd be a bet that you could get some money, but it's probably a foolish bet.
I'd go with the women.
Oh, yes. Are they favored? Or one of the favorites?
Yeah.
Okay, so Team USA Soccer lost yesterday, but you sent me something yesterday. You were watching soccer, and there was a couple of interesting things happen in soccer in general yesterday. But we had a little controversy yesterday. What happened?
A lot of controversy is between Morocco and Argentina. Argentina just won the Copa America.
But Morocco won yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Kind of.
Well, we thought they drew, but then they didn't. So then Morocco was up 2-0. Argentina gets a goal back, and then there is 15 minutes of extra time, which is like,
that's absurd.
That is an insane amount. And I was looking, because I was going back and forth at the game. I'm like, I don't remember seeing anyone, because usually if it's 15 minutes, someone was injured badly on the field to where they are doing some sort of like medical treatment on the field, getting a stretcher, taking him out, but not even like if it's like someone like that messed up their leg, it's usually quick. Get them on the stretcher, get them off, and you'll see like 8-9 minutes, but 15 minutes is like, what happened? Then in 16 minutes of extra time, I showed you the goal. It was like bouncing around in the box, a couple
Just
headers off
crazy.
the bar, and then Argentina scores.
And they're going nuts.
They go nuts. Fans are furious. They're throwing stuff on the field. A flare got thrown on the field. All the players go off, and I assume like, what was the end of the game? Like,
yeah,
that's the end of the
They
game.
just got it in time.
There's places like full time, Argentina draw at the last minute, blah, 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 blah. What it turned out to be, there was an offsides player for Argentina. They had all of this going on. The referee decided to, they call it abandon the match, which like, all right, everyone off the field. They had everyone leave the stadium. It was 2 hours later, and they said, okay, you guys have to come back on the field because it was offsides and there's 3 minutes left to play in this game. And so they go and they play the final 3 minutes. Argentina loses 2-1. So
after a 2-hour cool down, like,
yeah,
this is so unheard of.
So I always like to say the only thing more corrupted than FIFA is the IOC, and this kind of, when you get like these two bodies together, it's just like, oh, what are you doing?
I sometimes, I don't know, empathize or try to put myself in the position of someone that has to make someone has to make that decision. Usually you have some support people around you. Whoever's the lead of this making the decision has some other people. So if it's whatever, someone making the decision, you and I are in the room too, like, okay, what do you guys think? Terrible idea. Like, that's the best idea we have is like, let's cool it. Let's think about this. Let's look. It really was offside. We didn't like, so was it officially called on the spot, or just like all the mayhem, nobody knew?
The big thing was like, there was no communications. Like I forgot also fans were running onto the field.
Right. I mean, you got to worry about safety and all that stuff.
I do understand the idea of there was no communications. They need to say like, hey, the referee has put the players back into the locker rooms because of what was going on in the field. We're going to clear the stadium and we're going to get this game restarted. Like, the teams didn't know what were going on. They were just told to stay in the locker room. So they didn't even know that they were going back to play on the field. And it's just the blogs for the Olympics are saying like, oh, final 2-2 draw, Argentina and Morocco. So there was no communication of like, hey, we need to fix this.
I mean, I just can't.
I mean, I guess they got it right. Like, you would hate for like Morocco. That's a huge win for Morocco.
Right.
You would hate for them to like get the draw and then you see later, oh, it's actually offsides. It never should have counted.
But I mean, that does happen, right? Missed calls, but it just, the chaos, the pandemonium, and the uncertainty of it, like, hey, we need to get safety and restore order on the field. I can even understand, like, what did you call it when they basically
abandoned?
Like, I get that, but 2 hours later,
yeah.
Emptying the stadium. I mean, maybe emptying the stadium was the right move.
It feels like, I think that, but like, that's a 30-minute call,
right?
And that's a you go and you talk to both teams like, hey,
this is what's going on.
The goal is offsides. We've got 3 more minutes to play. You are going to be back on the field at this time. You can start warming up at this time. Like, this is what's going to happen. And like, none of that happened.
Yeah. I mean, I think communication in all of this is really important. Why is this? It's bringing me to DeMar Hamlin and the Bengals. Like, obviously that was like a near tragedy. Nobody knew what was happening with him as he's escorted off in an ambulance. And you just see like, this is horrific. And remember, like, I mean, just everybody was uncertain what to do. And you had officials from the league and officials in the game talking to each coach and players. And you're like, let's organize this collectively. And
it almost feels like they got everything that they should off of Twitter, because it seemed like the more people are like, there's no way they're playing this game. Is there? Like, that's when it started to be like, oh, well, we're going to still wait a little bit.
Would it shock you if the IOC was on Twitter going, all right, let's get the reactions to everybody? Insta poll. Actually, what should we do?
The IOC, they would say like, it seems like everyone's for this. Let's do the opposite.
Right. So just absolutely bizarre. I mean, also, by the way, if you haven't seen that last, I mean, I don't know how many shots on goal there were there.
No, it was like 4 or 5.
But it's like all close range, posts, headers, off people. It's like ping pong. Like, it was going back and forth, or pinball. It was so crazy. And you're like, oh. And then finally a goal. And you're like, my goodness, what is happening here? And then to have that taken away. I mean, just the highs and lows for Argentina.
Well, I didn't even really have an idea of what was going on, because I just had the channel on. And so I saw the soccer game, and then it went to rugby. And then they were showing like Argentina, Morocco. And I'm like, I'm just thinking like, oh, this is in they're replaying like the goal or whatever, and like it shows 2-1, and like so then I'm going crazy. I'm like, what? I thought they tied the game. Why does it say 2-1?
Right.
And it's just because no one knew what was going on.
Yeah. And so when you said they came back, what did they play? Like 1 more minute? 2 more minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Morocco.
Which ended up being what, like 19 minutes of extra time? 16, something like that?
Yeah.
'Cause you said it was already in minute 16, which was over the 15.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Not a good start.
Not a good start. Not a good start for Team USA, losing 3-0. They lost to France, but we'll see what's ahead for Team USA in soccer. What's ahead for us? It's our 6:45 segment, which is Safe or Out. We've got our questions coming your way. That straight ahead.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Hot summer savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebate.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 7/31/24.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Whitey here reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
And again, Carmichael Dave out on vacation for a couple of weeks. We'll have him back. We'll all be back to full strength on August 12th. Wow. Got a ways to go. That's all right. We'll get through it. We'll have our fun. And we appreciate all of you that have stuck it out last week without me, the next week or so without Dave, or some time where we're both gone, even Chris. We're all going on vacation together. That's what we do. We go on vacation together. Let's get to question number 1, Chris, and safe or out.
Safe or out? San Francisco Giants fans should have hope after Robbie Ray's impressive debut last night.
Well, I never want to squash somebody's hope. I will. Here's the squashing, though, first. As I said, I never want to squash anybody's hope. 49-54. 4th place in the NL West, 12 back of the Dodgers. All right, so that's where the hope would be squashed. Now, where you can rekindle some hope is knowing now that they're 4.5 out of the wild card. They did pass a team yesterday in the Cubs. So remember I said yesterday, Part of the problem with being 4.5 out or 5 out, whatever the number was, is that's not that big of a number, but with enough games remaining. But if you had 1 or 2 teams to catch, problem is the Giants would have had to have passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 teams basically to get to that last wild card spot. Well, they passed 1. That's good for now. I mean, so we'll see. But let's get to the Robbie Ray part. Now, that part is where the hope should be, whether that's for the rest of this season or in years to come. I said the best version of the San Francisco Giants, if you really want to say, okay, let's see what this team could do if everything went right. Well, the everything that went right part would be a healthy rotation that features Robbie Ray, Blake Snell, and Logan Webb. All of them have won Cy Youngs. Doesn't feel like a team that should be 5 games below 500. But the lineup, I mean, adding Soler was supposed to be a big deal to the Giants. That didn't matter. Wade's been hurt. Ramos has done some nice things. Chapman, Conforto can't stay healthy. Fitzgerald finally had his home run streak ended yesterday, the rookie. But still, I mean, Yastrzemski just, I mean, just nobody is having an amazing season with the bat. But if you're thinking about where the hope could be, Robbie Ray's final stat line yesterday after a really rough first inning where he was all over the place. 5 innings pitched, 86 pitches, 1 earned run, no hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. So he struck out over half of his outs of the 15 he recorded. And against the Dodger lineup, that's pretty darn good. Shohei Ohtani included. So good work by him. I guess it would now depend on what kind of fan. The question is safe or out. Should it give Giants fans hope? That, to me, falls right in line to what kind of fan are you? If you're the more optimistic, looking at things half full, you probably have some hope. If you're looking at it the more pessimistic and half empty, like, this team's done already, doesn't matter, then you're probably saying out here. So I'm going to say for this moment, I like what Robbie Ray did. Let's get a little hope going for the Giants. I'll say safe, but very, very little hope. We'll see what happens next. All right, question number 2.
The Mets swept the Yankees this season for the first time since 2008.
Ooh.
Safe or out? Jason, you are worried about the Yankees.
Who wrote that question? Oh, I did. Yeah, a while back, I have to admit it, I was sitting here going, I think we even had questions like, is the AL East over? I said, yeah, it's over. Yankees are too good. Best record. They're running away with this. They've been awful. Swept by the Mets in the 4 games, as Chris said, first time since 2008. Yesterday was a Garrett Cole game, so that's generally a win. That didn't happen. I mean, there's a few injuries to the lineup, but it just, at the beginning of the year when Volpe was hitting everything, Soto was setting up the table for Judge, they were just lethal. Now it just feels like the offense is pedestrian. They're losing to everybody. They're losing a lot. Now they still have a cushion as far as their overall record at 60-44. They still have the 3rd best record in the American League. The problem is one of the teams they're behind is in their division. And then if you get the wild card, that just makes things a little bit more shaky. You want to win the division. You want to get that security of a series. So we'll see, but just a game and a half behind the Orioles. It's just, this has been for a while for the New York Yankees. Let me trace back to kind of when they were at their peak. First half of the season, when they were just really cruising before they started to do all this losing. At one point, the Yankees were 49-21. So, I mean, they were crushing it at 49-21, and now, since then, they've gone 11-23. That's more than a bad series, a slightly bad stretch. That's a good chunk of the season that they've been a bad baseball team. So, time to fix it. There is a deadline off today. Of course, now they got Boston and Philly, so some tough teams ahead. But we'll see how aggressive. I think it's going to make them need to find a bat for that lineup. All right, let's get to question number 3 and safe or out.
Safe or out. The Chicago White Sox will lose 100 games before they win 40 games.
Okay, before the year started, while we were all looking and poking fun at the Oakland A's, how bad they're going to be and how awful they'll be when they come to Sacramento. And, some of that still may be true. The A's aren't thriving. 41-63, it's a bad year. You get the Blue Jays with 46 wins, the A's with 41, I mentioned, the Angels with 45. Let's see who else is in that 40 range. Nationals at 47, Cubs and Reds at 49, Giants at 49. In the 30s, the Rockies at 38, the Marlins at 37. But there's the Chicago White Sox. 27-77. 50 games below 500. They've lost 10 in a row. Their run differential is minus 201. So the question is, safe or out, will they lose 100 games before they win 40? So to win 40 first, they'd have to get 13 more wins before they accrue 23 more losses. I mean, I think they're losing 100, right?
Oh, definitely.
Before they win 40. I mean, at this point, nobody wants to be on the White Sox. But if you're a White Sox fan, do you just want this to be like so embarrassingly bad that you already can't wait for the next year or whatever else is next? 27-47.
Unfortunately, I think the White Sox ownership is trying to do an Oakland A's of like, oh, that's how you get a new stadium?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it working for them? Not really. Let me see how many series they've won. Got to go back to the first half.
I want to say this is like their second 10-game losing streak.
Oh, my gosh. Started 0-4. They were 1-9, 2-15, 3-22. Okay, so they were 3-22, Chris, and then they hosted Tampa Bay and swept the Rays. How do the Rays feel about that? 6-22. Took 2 of 3.
The White Sox are the Rays, New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes. White Sox took 2 of 3 from St. Louis. Oh, then they got the Rays again and got a game out of 3. So beat one of baseball's best teams 3 out of 4 in Cleveland. What happened there? They won 6 of 8.
Hey, we're getting it turned around.
Yeah, 2 of 3 against Washington. Thank goodness the Yankees swept them. There's a long, that's a real long losing streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 before Boston beat them. They beat Boston twice. Gosh, have they been awful. Took 2 of 3 from Colorado. Yeah, so they've won about 3 series all year. I don't even know what the record is for most losses in a season. I know the year before the Mets and maybe like 69 won the World Series was something incredible. But, I mean, as far as absurd amount of losses, but 27-77, that is absolutely brutal.
So I'm looking at the wild card standings.
Oh, yeah. How far are they out?
So the Oakland A's are just above them. They're at 15.5 games back of the wild card.
Okay.
White Sox are 29.5 games back of the wild card.
I mean, honestly,
they could win 28 games in a row. Everyone else could lose 28, and they still want to be a wild card team.
I'm sure there's a mathematical way, but I bet if they won out, if they won out, do you think they'd make it?
No,
just the wild card. So what would that get them? 77. They would get to 80. 87? No, 85 and 77.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be enough in the American League. If they won the rest of their games, I don't think the White Sox can make the playoffs. They're not mathematically eliminated, but it feels like they are. Holy cow. Most losses in MLB season. Let's see who it is. Well, we've got the Spiders that lost 134, but yeah, the Mets lost 120. White Sox, maybe you can do it. Set your sights for a great goal. All right, when we come back, the first of our busy day of guests coming up in the next hour. We begin the 7 o'clock hour with Michael McCarthy, senior writer at Front Office Sports. We're going to talk about that new NBA television deal, which will ultimately take effect in a year from now. NBC Sports gets it. Amazon. What's now the role? What happened to TNT? We've got a lot on that. That's coming your way with him. We got Sam Amick at 8. Also in between that, Sports Business with Kelly Brothers. Busy show straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports and sacktownsports.com.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about, if you're ever in a situation where you feel like you need some legal representation, right? You don't know when that's going to happen, but you want to be prepared. You want to know that you've got confidence in the person representing you. So who might you contact? Well, I've got a name for you and a website you can go to. Go to sacklegaldefense.com, and there you'll see the team from Gonzalez Law Offices. Jonathan Gonzalez is there, and he's here in town, in our community, right there downtown J Street. You can find him. Call them. You will eventually get to him. You'll be able to talk to him if your case is needed, right? He wants to help you out. He wants to represent you. If it has to go a situation where you have to go to court and fight the case, he's not afraid to do that. An excellent criminal or an excellent defense lawyer, right? So this is a situation where you want to know who is out there to help you. sacklegaldefense.com, the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. Now, why might you need him? Well, maybe there's a auto accident, a wrongful termination case, an expungement, something from your record you like removed that's just been hanging with you for a long, long time. Again, the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He was here to help. He's local. He's one of us. He's in our community, and he wants to help out those in our community. All you have to do is go to sacklegaldefense.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 tests under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley is coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Harmony, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Chelsea Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated and Dawson Oil Company.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what you doing for Chrysler's Make This the Summer sales event?
Well, this month we have something special that only happens once a year. Big savings on one of America's most capable minivans. Right now you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining 23 Chrysler Pacifica hybrids, and that's on all trims.
Now, you said Chrysler Pacifica hybrids. Those things get 82 miles per gallon E with gas prices so high and $17,000 off MSRP. That's a no-brainer.
And a deal like this only happens once a year. So this is the time to take advantage of this savings at the dealership and at the the pump.
The savings won't last long. Stop by Hoblet Dodge for a test drive today or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 7,500 factory rebates and 9,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 7,500 federal EV tax credit offered by a third party and subject to change. Consult a tax professional for details and eligibility. 82 MPGE combined city highway rating based on fueleconomy.gov EPA rating. Send this net savings while supplies last. See dealer for details.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sit Down Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, 1 hour from now, we're going to be joined by the Athletics' Sam Amick. Lots of NBA things to discuss there, but we got more NBA things to discuss right now with our first guest of the day. Michael McCarthy is a senior writer at Front Office Sports, and the NBA television deal is a big deal. I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. Let's get someone that's on the know and can help us organize this much better than we can. Again, Michael McCarthy joining me, Jason Ross. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Great, and thanks for the invite.
Yeah, well, appreciate you coming on. I saw your post yesterday, and this NBA new TV deal has a lot of different layers to it. There's a lot of different things going on. I think most people that have been longtime NBA fans like myself are kind of concerned with the TNT part of this. So let's kind of just get caught up from the very beginning. Where are we present day, and where is this thing going?
Well, I could glad to announce that this 2-year soap opera, How the Hardwood Rolls, is finally over. The NBA has reached 11-year deals worth $77 billion with NBC Sports, its former broadcast partner, Amazon Prime Video, and incumbent ABC ESPN. The bad news for NBA fans is that, barring a last-minute miracle, next season will be TNT's last season as an NBA broadcaster, and it will be the last season for Charles Barkley's inside the NBA.
Yeah, which he has said that. Now, some people wonder if that might change. That we'll have to wait and see. That's on Charles. But let's go to the TNT part here, Michael, because I think that's the intrigue. They've been a great partner. They've got a lot of history, and they went to the grassroots of social media yesterday basically to pull at the heartstrings of a lot of its fan base. What's their recourse here? Because according to reports, they did match the Amazon offer. What's going to happen with TNT in this?
Well, as you noted, they tried to pull a last-minute buzzer beater by matching Prime's offer, and the NBA rejected it. I mean, it rejected it in a couple of days out of hand. My sources tell me that it's very likely that we're going to overtime, and that TNT and Warner Brothers Discovery is going to sue the NBA to keep its rights. Now, that sounds crazy, right? Networks never sue their league partners, but my sources tell me that the TNT feels and WBD feels that they have a solid case, that they feel they've been wronged, that this negotiation wasn't handled properly, and that they're looking to take it to court. And this has happened before. 50 years ago, the legendary Roone Arledge of ABC Sports had his rights taken away by the NBA, and they were sent over to CBS Sports. And Roone didn't sit down and take it quietly either. He went on this warpath that was called Roone's Revenge, and while he lost the suit, he made CBS's life miserable.
So what does a lawsuit, as we're talking with Michael McCarthy, senior writer at Front Office Sports, what does a lawsuit like that look like? I mean, obviously, what are they trying to get out of a potential lawsuit like this?
Well, it could take all sorts of, potential permutations, but I think, that the basic approach would be that the claim that allegedly the NBA didn't negotiate in good faith, that TNT, in fact, had matching rights, and that once they matched Amazon's bid, that should have been it. End of story. They should have kept the rights. And that the NBA was in the wrong by declining its match. The other thing too is here, you were talking about big corporations maneuvering. Do they really want a costly lawsuit that could take months, years, cost hundreds of millions of dollars in legal fees? I mean, this whole thing could be sort of negotiating and maneuvering for a settlement of some kind between perhaps the NBA pays off TNT with a settlement, or perhaps to avoid a lawsuit, NBA gives TNT a smaller, cheaper, but face-saving fourth package that would keep them in the business.
I mean, that's going to be fascinating to watch. Now, on this side, look, all of us, myself included, I'll say, are, the sentimental part of it is, look, I'm attached to this show, to Ernie and Shaq and Kenny and Charles. It's just been great television for years. But I want to go back to the negotiating part of this. Michael, how much to blame is TNT for this? I mean, we're seeing the end result where they're throwing this last-ditch effort in, but did they misplay this along the way?
I think TNT has been an amazing NBA partner. I think their parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, misplayed their hand. David Zaslav, the CEO of the company, went out for Wall Street a couple of years ago and said, we don't need the NBA, and we're going to be disciplined, and we're not going to overspend. Well, guess what? Commissioners don't like to hear that come negotiating time. They want their network CEOs to say that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're going to do whatever they can. So that was a big blunder. The second blunder WBD made is they let this thing extend beyond the exclusive negotiating period. I don't think they saw NBC coming. They knew Prime was coming, but I think NBC came out of left field with this huge deal and really took WBD by surprise.
On the overall package, then, look, it's a fantastic deal for the NBA. Were you surprised by the length of the deal? Because, look, there's security in that, and it's a ton of money, but just with the ever constant changing platforms and I don't know, escalation in prices, could a 6 or 7 year deal have been better off, or you think this was overall just a good deal for the NBA?
That is a really great question, because the standard length of these deals is usually 9 to 10 years. And you could argue that it would have been better to do a 6 or 7 year deal, since sports rights keep going up, up, and up. But then again, I think Silver and the NBA owners have to take a look at the economy. The economy's teetering. We could be going into a recession, and there's been a lot of predictions that the sports rights bubble is going to pop sooner or later. So I think it was smart on their behalf to do an 11-year deal. But to your point about 6 or 7 years, is the NFL put it in the opt-out clause in its deal, its 10-year deal, that it can get out after 7 years. So I think the NFL is going to exercise that clause and start the process all over again.
And we're talking with Michael McCarthy, senior writer at Front Office Sports. I know this has been something that's kind of been in place for a while, but there was a time where having rights shared across different major networks just would have never happened. But, NBC to have ABC, ESPN, and Amazon, this is going to be everywhere. It feels like companies now, I guess, are doing a better job of playing nice. They'll promote it on other stations too. That I guess that's been a shift, and maybe it's been about a decade of that, but I don't know, years ago, we would have never seen something like that, would we?
Exactly. Like back in the 90s, you know, the NBA was on NBC and that was it, right?
Yep.
And then in the 2000s, the NHL was on NBC and that was it. I think two things have changed. I think everybody's adopting the NFL model of having multiple partners. And the reason why you have multiple partners is it increases the bidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have more bidding for less rights. So the more bidders you have, the more you're going to get in terms of media rights versus just one partner. The other thing is all these networks can cross-promote each other. So, you know, now you're going to have Amazon Prime, NBC, ESPN, ABC, all pumping out NBA marketing all the time. It's great for the league. But if I can, I'll throw out one note of hope for you and other inside the NBA fans. We're working on a story today that says Charles Barkley could be the most sought after and most expensive free agent in history. We're hearing Prime Video is interested in him. We're hearing ESPN is interested in him. So there's a possibility that Charles and inside the NBA could be hired by another network to continue this show.
What's your gut telling you, Michael, on Charles? I know he said this is going to be my last year. Seems like he's frustrated with some of this. Do you buy that, or is that money going to talk with Charles?
Charles says a lot of things, and even sometimes they're true.
Yeah.
I think he was speaking more from the heart, from the head. I think he was very dejected and disappointed at that point. But I think it's going to be fantastic to watch an unplugged Charles on TNT in their swan song this season. And, you know, after that, it's hard to walk away from $20 million a year.
All right, last thing for you. This is probably an unfair question, but we got a segment coming up later kind of looking at the future of sports like 20 years from now. And if we went back 20 years ago, none of us could have pictured I can watch games on my phone. What's streaming? I don't understand what is a streaming platform? What does that even mean? Well, now we're all versed in this. We're seeing this everywhere. If you had to guess, and again, unfair question, but speculate 20 years from now, how are we consuming these sporting events?
I think it's all going to be all about personalization. It's going to depend on the teams you want to watch and the players you want to watch. You know, if you're a Kings fan, you know, you're going to be able to zero in just on Kings games and pay just for Kings fans. If you're a Caitlin Clark fan, you know, you're going to be able to zero in just on Caitlin Clark. Hell, we already saw it during college basketball cover, right? They had all these ISO cams and stuff on Caitlin Clark, where if that's all you wanted to watch was Caitlin Clark, even off the ball, that's what you could do. So personalization is going to be the key to the future.
Amazing. Well, incredible insight. It's a great follow you on Twitter and all your stuff that you're doing at Front Office Sports. Michael, we really appreciate your insight that you shared with us. We will continue to follow this drama, and we'd love to have you on again in the future.
You bet. Thanks for inviting Front Office Sports.
All right, thank you. That's Michael McCarthy, senior writer, Front Office Sports. That Charles Barkley part, that anecdote's interesting, and certainly the quest for that show. I mean, it's such a successful show. So many people try to copy it. Nobody's been able to quite get the exact essence of that show. But I will miss it if it truly is gone. And you adapt. You go on to the next thing. I mean, there's part of being excited about the NBA is back on NBC. I liked it on ABC and ESPN. It'll still be there. And TNT, I mean, it used to be TBS. It's been all over the place. You do adjust. So we'll see. And, you know, then you get accustomed to new announcers and broadcasters and certain networks. So it's going to be certainly an adjustment. All right, break time for us. When we come back, again, coming up at the bottom of the hour, about 15, 20 minutes away or so from Sports Business. More on this with Kelly Brothers. Sam Amick still to join us. Sam Amick still to join us. But next, 3 for Madness, including an anniversary of the national anthem. Not a good one. We'll talk about the best and worst anthems and more straight ahead.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day. and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream, but it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online, so your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
3 questions, 3 answers. Sports business coming up at the bottom of the hour with Kelly Brothers. But it is that time. 3 for Madness. Christopher Lott, question 1.
Roseanne Barr delivered her famous rendition of the national anthem on this date in 1990. What is the best and worst renditions of the anthem?
I don't know if people, like some of these people that are doing first pitches that are so bad, it's becoming like, all right, do you just want to be seen? And I feel like that's less embarrassing than doing, what's the anthem take? 90 seconds, 60 to 90 seconds of being out there with a visual, an audio proof of how bad you could be, like just a reaction. So I don't know that people fake bad anthems. I don't know. Maybe some have.
Oh, and Stephen A. definitely faked that.
You think
first
so?
Pitch.
You're still convinced?
Convinced.
Yeah. But it wasn't, well, it was bad. I mean, it wasn't good, but like there's been worse.
Yeah, there have been worse, but all of the shows that he was on played that for like a solid week.
Yeah, and
like,
he knew.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Come on, Stephen A. I mean, Roseanne Barr is one of the worst.
But I believe she was trying to be.
Yeah, so I don't know what her plan was. Well, look, we're talking about it decades later. Still talking about it for decades.
Do you know where I was on that date?
Where you were?
Yeah.
On July 25th, 1990.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. No.
I was in San Diego.
You were there?
We weren't at the game, but we were like
here?
We were in vacation. It was a vacation there. And I remember it. I was like, I want to say it's 5.
Uh-huh.
Well, it had to be. That's the day.
Yeah.
I was 5. And I remember that on the news in the hotel room. And like my mom was just like, oh my God. I specifically remember that.
That was awful. That's one of them. I mean, like coming to the top of my head, Carl Lewis, like is out there. The
one we had with did you know about the home run derby anthem?
No.
Oh, you don't. It was awful. To where everyone was just like, what was she trying to do? Like a Fergie thing? That was terrible.
Was it somebody famous?
Yeah, she
famous?
happened to have played Country in the Park.
Really?
And so you're thinking I'm messing around. I am not messing around. The next day she said, I apologize. I was drunk yesterday during the anthem and I'm going to be going to rehab. And it's I'm just now realizing you had no idea about any of this.
No.
Yeah.
So wait, home run derby. I was actually in Vegas at the Kings, like the night of the home run derby. I even remember like Dave and you and I were on a text like, who'd you guys pick? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
who won?
Right. Yeah,
and I think Dave's like, it's going on now. I'm like, oh, I mean, and then I just never saw, and I left first thing the next morning, and I never saw anything about it. Wow. I'm gonna have to hear that.
Yeah.
At some point here in the show. So that's an all-timer as far as pretty bad.
Oh yeah, like it's compared to
those
Carl
others.
Lewis
Okay.
and Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, Fergie. That's right. When you brought that one, that was pretty rough. Best renditions. I mean, a lot of times people go to Whitney. I mean, there's some more historical value. I thought Marvin Gaye at the All-Star game of, I don't know what year that was in LA was great. There's been lots of great renditions. I don't know that any others stick out, but it's probably more on the bad side. So now I'm anxious to hear this other one from the home run derby had an anthem.
I didn't even know that they did the anthem for the home run derby.
Okay. Wow. All right. Question 2.
Question 2.
The NBA will be back on NBC. Which announcer would you like to bring back from when NBC had the games previously?
Well, we couldn't do this. Rest in peace. I was a big fan of Dick Enberg. He was a really good announcer. I'm thinking of maybe even analysts. Like I also rest in peace, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones. Those guys were fun together. The studio shows. I'm trying to remember that. I remember like Kevin Johnson was on. They used to have Peter Vesey, Magic Johnson. Bob Costas would either host or do some games, do the setup. Yeah, he's done a little bit of everything. I'm wondering currently with NBC, and Noah Eagle's kind of in that group. He's doing some Olympics, so I can picture Noah Eagle being a broadcaster, probably Mike Tirico. And I always wondered when Mike Tirico left ESPN, ABC, I'm like, man, he's leaving football at the time, which he got football after Al Michaels went to Amazon. He does Olympics. But he's going to get basketball again. He did some golf. So Mike Tirico's going to turn out to get a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, really the main thing, which is terrible to say, I think everybody's most excited, Chris, seemingly about NBC and the Round Ball Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an iconic song, and everybody just wants to hear that back again. So, but Tirico.
Just let us have the lyrics this time, NBC.
What's that?
Just let us have the lyrics.
Yeah, we'll take care of this. We've got it. And I'm going to dunk it. All right, question 3.
Question 3.
What is your favorite MLB ballpark that you have attended?
Okay. How many do you think you've attended, Chris?
Not that many.
Well, you've been to Fenway.
No.
You've been to St. Louis.
Yes. The old Busch Stadium.
The old one. Okay.
Yeah.
You've been to Oakland.
Yes.
Have you been to San Francisco?
Both of them.
Oh, Candlestick?
Yeah.
Any others in California? Did you go to Petco or Jack Murphy or Dodger or Anaheim?
The only other one I've been to is Safeco. Oh, I went to Wrigley Field.
Ooh.
And Safeco Park, T-Mobile Park in Seattle.
Okay.
But that was for WrestleMania.
Huh. So for baseball games, I'm thinking you're going to say Wrigley.
No.
No?
Just because, like, the couple times I went there, like, the seats are just, like, so tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're basically sharing chairs with everybody. And it was, like, so cold, like, the times that I went there. And this was, like, in the middle of summer. Just, like, it was cool to go there for the game, but it's a tight fit.
Okay.
I would say probably it's got to be Oracle Park
in San Francisco.
Yeah.
No, I'd say new one. It's 20-something years old now. Okay. I was just trying to do a quick count. I have been to 16 ballparks. Now, some are gone, kind of like you went to Candlestick. So I've been to 17 if I count Candlestick. So the places I've been to that no longer exist, Candlestick, what was Minnesota before? The Metrodome, I think.
Yeah.
Original Yankee Stadium and the ballpark at Arlington. Those 4 I've been to that no longer exist. Oh, and Jack Murphy, another one. 18. That no longer exists. Honestly, my favorite park, it's either old Yankee Stadium, but it's honestly, and it's going to kill me as a Yankee, it's Fenway. Fenway's amazing. Fenway Park's my favorite one I've been to.
Well, the new Yankee Stadium feels like a sanitized version of the old Yankee Stadium.
It's not the same. It's just not. I've only been there once. Old Yankee Stadium, I only went twice, but I loved that. Loved it. But Fenway now I've been 3 times, and it's just an amazing experience. All of it. Outside, inside, the fan experience, how into the games everyone is. I've sat different places on purpose just to kind of experience the park. It's, there's nicer stadiums as far as amenities, but it's the history, the feel, the vibe, the monster. The monster's so incredible when you see it first time. I mean, it really is. And I had that same feeling when I first walked out at Wrigley Field, like, whoa, I've seen this park so many times on TV, and this is it. Wow, it's interesting. And just the fact that you're like in the middle of the city and then boom, there's a ballpark. Trying to think of Petco is great. They did a great job at Petco.
That seems like a cool place.
They really did a great job there. But I would say it's probably Fenway of all the places I've been, which sometimes pains me to say, but I can appreciate the park. It is that great. So you can weigh in on yours, certainly, if you would like to, on the chat or on YouTube. Coors isn't bad, by the way, either. Colorado. That was a nice stadium, I found as well. All right, still to come, Sam Amick coming up at 8. But when we come back, sports business with Kelly Brothers. We'll talk about Salt Lake City getting the Winter Olympics, as the Olympics are set to start tomorrow in Paris officially. We got a Super Bowl schedule change potentially on our topics, NBA rejecting TNT, all that and more as we talk sports business with Kelly Brothers next.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for RU. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Thursday, we're looking at plenty of sunshine. After a comfortable start to the morning, temperatures will heat up this afternoon. We're looking at highs in the range of 100 to 104. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you're in the market for a new car, shop Folsom Lake Kia. Low interest rates, low payments, and zero down deals with approval of credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Draper. Equip your staff with top-notch uniforms, professionally cleaned and delivered weekly to your workplace by Alsco Uniforms, proud sponsors of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. Our services include uniforms, towels, floor mats, mops, first aid supplies, and restroom essentials to uphold cleanliness and safety standards in your business. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Visit alsco.com to learn more. Again, visit alsco.com.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt Power Tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools and better prices. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Joining us now on Sports Sense, certified financial planner Kelly Brothers. Kelly is an advisor with Cap Trust, one of the nation's largest registered investment advisors. Cap Trust counts among its clients numerous pro athletes and pro sports franchises, but most importantly serves many Northern Californians through comprehensive financial planning. Here's Kelly Brothers.
Oh, it's that time. We love talking sports business with our good friend Kelly Brothers, joining us each and every Thursday at 7:30. Kelly, good morning. How are you?
Jason, I'm doing just great, my friend. How are you doing running solo?
I'm doing well. I was thinking about you because I think back to one of our, and we're going to get into some of the topics we have sports business related, but you do this for a living, Cap Trust. It's in our intro there. You said maybe in January of 2024, so a few months back, just the business year is going to be weird because it's an election year. I'm just curious over the last, 3 to 4 weeks with all the mayhem that's gone on, what's that impact been like in kind of your area of expertise?
The market seems to be taking it in stride. I shudder to think what would happen to us financially or politically if that assassin's bullet had found its mark.
Sure.
That would have been who knows what would have happened there with the market then. But overall, the market's having a decent year. We've talked about that before because the power of incumbency and the ability to open up that financial spigot in an election year is always there for either party. So it is, but and it's bumpy and it's going to stay bumpy, I think. From now to the election, but that's not a reason to get out, Jason, unless this is money you need to use at the end of the year, or the beginning of next year. If this is retirement money that's 20 years out, you just got to ride the wave on at years like this.
Yeah, play the long game for sure. All right, so let's get into some of the topics we like to get to. The Olympics officially, well, they've kind of started a little bit, but the opening ceremony is tomorrow in Paris. But Salt Lake City, finding out that they're going to get the Winter Olympics here in a few years. It's been a big financial boost to them before. What kind of impact will that have this time?
It'll probably have a better impact than it did in 2002, mainly because they built so many venues in 2002. They're going to use all of those venues, which is great for them. To get 2 Olympics out of venues is big. We've heard numerous cases where Olympics have been disasters for cities, where they overspent, they took on too much debt, and the benefit from that never came back. Let's face it, guys. You put tens, if not tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars into a bobsled track. What are you going to get out of that after the Olympics? Let's face it. The one question I have is, given the way Olympics run these days, has there ever been? I think Tahoe should get back in the game. I really do, because you could easily do events in Sacramento. You could do the ice skating at Golden One. You could utilize Reno and some of their facilities. You could utilize all of Tahoe. Every time there's an Olympics, there are events happening 2 to 3 hours away from the main, epicenter of where it's happening. And there's no reason you couldn't put together a pretty decent Tahoe, Sacramento, Reno type bid. I don't think, but haven't heard of any.
I was going to say, I thought there was some approach at that. I remember hearing in the news maybe a year or two ago. Is that a faint memory of yours, or is that just never something that was going to materialize to try to get it? I've never
heard of. You could even do it. Given the way the Olympics run these days, you could even do Winter Olympics and include the Bay Area and all of their. You could. It's within a 4-hour ride. Interesting piece of trivia. Next time, I was coming down Highway 50 yesterday, and I was thinking, if you want an interesting piece of Olympic trivia, what happened right there at Echo Summit? How many years ago? Almost 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the answer is the track and field trials for the Summer Olympics were held at Echo Summit.
Wow.
Literally right, where they park all the trucks for the snow clearing and the sand, assault and all that stuff. Right behind there, they built a little track, a regulation track, but they built a track, and track and field. The trials were held right there at Echo Summit with just a high school crowd around it. And the reason they did it is because 1968, the Olympics were in Mexico City at altitude, and they wanted to hold the trials at altitude. And somehow they bypassed Utah and Colorado, and they came up with Echo Summit for holding the trials.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen again. I was thinking about when we had the trials in Sacramento, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, which was great. It was great to see the world's finest athletes. But Kelly, it was maybe April or May. I went up to a graduation at the University of Oregon and saw the track facility and went, okay, we've got no chance. That place is absolutely stunning.
No, it is. And a Sacramento guy runs all that. A gentleman named Mike Duncan, who used to run Arco Arena, runs all facilities at Oregon. And you're right. Hayward Field is spectacular, probably world class. I mean, probably the best stadium in the world for track and field.
All right, I know we end up talking a lot about television deals, probably none bigger than the NBA deal that's agreed to between NBC, Amazon, ABC, ESPN, TNT still maybe trying to wiggle in there. I know they've been rejected. Maybe a lawsuit's coming. What's your thought on the kind of the NBA deal and TNT's part?
Yeah, TNT management's taking a lot of heat for kind of slow playing this, being somewhat passive. Amazon has come out and said, oh, we would love to have Inside the NBA on Amazon, but Ernie Johnson has kind of made it clear that he has a lot of loyalty to TNT. Charles Barkley has said he's going to retire if TNT doesn't have the deal. So it's weird. I mean, they came back, said they matched it. Of course, you know, there's so many things that can be in a bid, and TNT could not match everything Amazon would put in because Amazon has access to a kind of a much bigger platform. So I think this is going to court, but the NBA seems pretty adamant, like, no, they did not match, and we're moving ahead with Amazon. So I don't see which is interesting because TNT has been a very good partner to the NBA. So I would love to take a look at the two bids and see what the delta is between the Amazon bid and the other one, the one for TNT. But it's ugly and it's too bad, but we get one more year of Inside the NBA at least.
Yeah, enjoy that because I know kind of the crew from TNT or even those behind that, you know, are trying to draw out the emotional part of this, really hit social media yesterday and talking about best moments on TNT, you know, just really hitting the heartstrings, seeing if there can be a social media push and apply some pressure that way. How about the Super Bowl? We're almost getting to the NFL with camps opening up. We know that's always the biggest event of the year. They're talking about an 18-game schedule, but how about the Super Bowl and a potential change that you're thinking about, maybe their schedule change maybe?
Yeah, you know, I saw an interview with Roger Goodell. It was on CNBC, and he talked about it in a way he has not talked about publicly before, and I thought it was kind of interesting. They are actively considering moving the Super Bowl. Two ways they could go. Number one, move it to President's Day weekend, which the NBA would like. The NBA's always kind of owned President's Day weekend, but you know, if they go to an 18-game schedule, it makes a ton of sense. And actually, that's when they would move it because then everyone would get that day off after the Super Bowl, which everyone is clamoring for. But the other option that Roger Goodell brought up that is under active consideration is to move the Super Bowl to Saturday night, which makes a lot of sense too, mainly because obviously there are 2 weeks between the league championship games and the Super Bowl. One day doesn't make that much difference like it would if there was only 1 week, but they would have Super Bowl week and then play the game on Saturday night, and everyone could recover and rehydrate on Sunday. So that's, but I had not heard them discuss that actively before. They are considering moving the Super Bowl to Saturday night. If they do, I think it'll be short term because I think they will go to 18 games, and I think eventually the Super Bowl will end up on Sunday of President's Day weekend.
I think it's really amazing and a testament to how popular that sport is, that the amount of momentum this has, Kelly, that people really think there needs to be a day off after the Super Bowl because everybody seems to want it. It might happen. I mean, that's absolutely, or moving it to Saturday just because of the impact of how big that game and how many parties and just get-togethers. That's truly a crazy concept, but it might come to reality.
You know, and they didn't set it up this way, but
right.
Think about, Jason, the calendar. It is at the perfect time. Everyone is over all the excitement of the holidays, the gathering of the holidays, and now you have New Year's and everyone's back. And remember, much of the country is in darkness with snow and sleet and rain and wind. And you've got 6 weeks of that. And I think that's one of the reasons, kind of an understated reason why the Super Bowl has become so big, because it is that break after 6 weeks of winter where people can kind of come out, look at the sun again, gather with friends, let loose a little bit after kind of licking their chops and paying off their credit card bills for the month prior.
That's for sure. Well, Kelly, we always enjoy catching up with you, getting your latest insight. You going to enjoy the Olympics? Any preferential sport you have with the Summer Olympics?
No, I just look for the good stories and some of the local folks. But I'm looking forward to you know what I love about the Olympics? I look forward to being surprised. I look forward to finding some new sport I didn't know about or some story I didn't know about. But I also want to see how these billionaire NBA players are going to do on cardboard beds. That's what I'm looking forward to, which they're not. They're at the Ritz-Carlton in Paris or somewhere, I'm sure of it. So anyway, Jason, great to see you. Keep up the good work. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. That is Kelly Brothers joining us, of course, from Cap Trust. We get his insight on all things sports business. Love that segment each and every week. He is good at business. Sam Amick still to join us. When we come back, the Kings added to their roster yesterday. We'll talk about the impact of Orlando Robinson when we come back here on Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for Chrysler's Make This the Summer Sales event.
Everywhere you go, things are getting more expensive. But at Hoblet, we're working to save you as much as we can, which is why right now you can save up to $15,500 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn or Laramie Hemi 4x4s. And we figured why not include no payments for 90 days.
You guys are going all out this month, aren't you?
From the time my grandfather opened the first Hoblet dealership back in 1949, one thing we've strive for is to treat you like family. That's why you'll find the big city selection and savings with over 400 Rams available, but the small town care and attention when you buy from Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,500 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 1500s after 8,500 factory rebates and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Chrysler Captor bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Captor qualify. And 500 first responder cash for current members of the eligible First Responder Association. At least 5 of this net savings, sample VIN 190060. See dealer for details.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Nice to be back yesterday, returning from the vacation from New Orleans. Brought Chris a Muffuletta sandwich, which was just a beast of a sandwich.
How big of a beast of a sandwich was it?
How big?
How big was it?
It was a beast.
So I had half of it. I took
you
half
had
of
a half. It was already cut in half, so you took the half.
It was cut in quarters.
Oh, it was cut in quarters. I knew it was half. I didn't see it was quarters. Okay.
Yeah, so I shared my half with Simone because she's the one that introduced me to the Muffuletta.
Okay.
So I had...
Wait, you had one before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave brought one back.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yours was a little fresher.
Oh.
Because he didn't vacuum seal it.
Gotcha.
But it was still like really good.
Okay.
So I had the quarter for lunch.
Okay.
And then for dinner, I had half of another quarter.
Dang.
and my lunch is probably going to be the rest of it.
So review, and so it's from Pontchartrain Po' Boys would be the place the next time you're in
Nolans,
Mandeville, or Madisonville, or Louisiana. Yes.
So would I say, yeah, give me one of the Muffuletta with chip soda?
Yeah, exactly. Fully dressed is how you want it. How was it?
Amazing.
Best part of it?
The sandwich part?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if there was a part. I mean, the bread. I don't even know. I didn't have it.
Bread's amazing.
I think that was on it's almost like on a full loaf. Like, it's just crazy the amount of bread. And I know it was vacuum sealed, so it was like so compressed. But did it pop back up a little bit? Or?
I don't think it got back to its full maximum, but it raised up a little bit.
Okay. And I know there's multiple meats. You took the picture. It looks good. There's cheese in there, but it's something about and there's like an oil. But the green olives, like, I don't mind green, but it's a lot of them. And maybe I think I do remember taking some of them out because it's a really strong taste to me.
Like that, I think is the whole.
Is that the key to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, well, then maybe I don't like the sandwich. I don't know. I didn't have it this trip. I had it the first time I went, and I went, it's okay. It's okay. But if you got a Ferdy there, get one.
It was okay.
Give me one of them Ferdies. Roast beef, ham, cheese, fully dressed. Clutch. So the Sacramento Kings yesterday made an addition, and it's this guy.
Williams crossing over, crashing into traffic. Robinson, a two-handed hammer.
A two-handed hammer for Orlando Robinson. So how are the Kings going to use Orlando Robinson? He is our own guy. Our boss here, Jose, knew him from Fresno State. That's where he played college ball. He is big. I mean, the strength of the signing would be size. I think he's 6'11" or 7 feet tall, right around there. Big guy. Still ultimately trying to find his spot in the NBA. Has had a couple of opportunities with the Miami Heat. Has not played very many games in the NBA. Let's see what his official total is. The last 2 years, 31 games with the Heat 2 years ago, 36 last year, but playing anywhere between 13 minutes and 8 minutes. So some fill-in time, but that's okay. And so the question is, I think, Kings fans were looking for more size. This is a younger player, maybe, I don't even want to say project, that's unfair, but someone that you're trying to work with. I would say, just based on a general thought, he would be behind certainly Sabonis, and I would say Alex Len. Now, it becomes a bigger question. What is the front court depth of the Sacramento Kings? Because I brought this up yesterday, and I don't disagree with the thought and the concept that they need more size, but how are they going to utilize the size? So if you kind of go under the position of power forward and center, the 4-5, the people that I believe can play there currently on the roster are Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles. I mean, you could probably, I don't know if DeMar DeRozan could do it, but they're not planning on doing that. So let's go with Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, Jalen McDaniels, Domantas Sabonis, Alex Len, Orlando Robinson, maybe two-way guy Isaac Jones. So, but when you're parsing out minutes, the minutes are going to Sabonis. Big chunk of the minutes are going to Keegan Murray. Trey Lyles. Where does Alex Len, McDaniels, Orlando Robinson, and Isaac Jones fit in? They're all probably capable of playing, but a little bit like last year when you had JaVale McGee and Alex Len, it's like they only really played one of them, if at all. When Trey Lyles was healthy, they like to play him at 5. So I think this is a team that can continue to get more size unless it gets someone that you just can't take off the court. It's just bodies. It's depth. It's, hey, an injury replacement. It's someone you need as part of the puzzle, part of the team, but on a regular basis, I don't think would get a lot of minutes. That's my guess. That's my hunch. That's I think a pretty good educated guess. But it doesn't mean it's not a good signing, and doesn't mean it's not somebody that could ultimately help this team. Did some decent things in the summer league. And you got to give some players opportunities. I mean, this isn't, I could read you stats, but there's nothing that's going to I think it's about 3 points and 3 boards per game when given an opportunity. That's not going to blow you away. But in your system, around good players, around what you do, can he help this team? And that's the question. And so I don't know ultimately how that front court will shake out, but I am getting the feeling, I feel pretty confident that the bulk of the minutes are going, as I suggested, to at that 4 or 5 position, Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, Domantas Sabonis. So we could probably stop there. That's the bulk of the minutes at that spot. And what that to me is on all 3 of them is an undersized front court. It's an undersized front court, though, that's got a lot of skill. Trey Lyles can do a lot of good things. Certainly Sabonis is just a double-double machine and a leading rebounder the last 2 years. And Keegan Murray needs to continue to keep developing like he's been. I mean, that's, to me, what, when we're looking at adding people and, okay, look, they got such great depth at this position. You really need to go to your core players playing the majority of your minutes, and that's going to be it. That trio of Sabonis, Murray, and Lyles will be getting the bulk of the minutes, I believe, barring any kind of injury, which we certainly don't want to see for the Kings, and the Kings don't want to see because that would derail a lot of what their goals and plans are. But can Jalen McDaniels, which I still think the idea, the concept, the size, the frame is what the Kings need. It's just, is he the guy? Hasn't been great the last couple of years. New team, new opportunity. We'll see what he does. Orlando Robinson, new team, new opportunity. Alex Len, consistent team, same opportunity. And when Alex Len has played, I think he helps his team. I think Alex Len, to me, is underappreciated. I shouldn't say that. I think Kings fans appreciate him. I think maybe he doesn't play as much as he should. And again, I'm not talking about 20 minutes a game, 25 minutes a game, but there's some games where he doesn't even play, and I feel like he can help. I think Mike Brown in his 2 years here and the style that this team has played, at least to date, has shown a propensity to put the most amount of skilled players that can do versatile things, can shoot the ball, help others be better offensively, and kind of patch it to what they can with a focus still to be a good defensive team. I mean, you want the bulk of the minutes this year to be Fox, Monk. This is in some order. Fox, Monk, certainly DeRozan. I've got to believe Keon and Herter are going to get their opportunities. Carter, when available, that might be the back end of the year. And then the guys I said in the front court between Murray, Sabonis, Lyles. And that's a good group. That's a team, like I said, that we have seen win 40-plus games the last 2 years. And a team that has every opportunity in a very talented Western Conference to do the equally amount of same kind of damage, if not better. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll probably say it as we get closer to the start of the NBA season. I feel as strongly about this statement as I did last year, maybe even stronger. When you look at the Western Conference in the NBA, let me see if I can eliminate a team, which is probably unfair, but I think it will be really tough for a team like Portland. As of now, Utah, but I'm a little reserved on that. And I think the Spurs will be better, but I'm not quite ready to say that they can't be in the top 10. But let's take the rest of the teams, and that's OKC, Denver, Minnesota, Clippers, Dallas, Phoenix, Lakers, Pelicans, Kings, Warriors, Rockets, Memphis. I almost think all of those teams could finish first. I do. If everything went right, and people, I've said like, well, that's crazy. Well, it looked just at the last couple of years, how it's changed. 1, 2, 3, 2 years ago was what? Denver, Memphis, Sacramento. 1, 2, 3 last year, OKC, Denver, Minnesota. The team that represented the West in the finals was Dallas. I don't think they were the best team. They got through. That's what mattered. They played right, got the right matchups, and got through. I don't know that it matters if you're first. It matters if you're in the top 6 to get that guaranteed series. But with that same statement of saying, if everything went right for, let's pick a team, for the Pelicans, yeah, they could have a great year. Zion healthy the whole year. Addition of DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram stays, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. That's a good team. everything went right, why couldn't they be one? Remember 2 years ago when they were the leader at the turn of the calendar? It could go right. Doesn't mean they're going to win the West as far as get out of the West, but they could be the 1 seed. The same point, they could be 12th. Just like the Kings last year. Lost 2 more games. They went from 3rd to 9th and technically didn't even make the playoffs. So I'm going to say that same kind of thing, that feeling now, even if there are more substantial moves in the offseason for all these teams. It's going to be a really wild year, and I think that leads for a lot of fun, probably anxiety for those that are coaching and making decisions as well on trying to build these rosters. All right, we'll talk more about that competitive nature of the West. We're going to check in. It's been a couple weeks with Sam Amick, still on his European vacation, but he's going to talk to us, and we're going to check in with Sam. That's coming your way next.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For your Thursday, we're looking at plenty of sunshine after a comfortable start to the morning. Temperatures will heat up this afternoon. We're looking at highs in the range of 100 to 104. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. Whether you purchase a new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, Elk Grove Honda has the right Honda at the right price. In the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard, or elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all day freshness.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt power tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools and better prices. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Blaze lefty Hogan Harris spent the first 5 seasons in the organization dealing with injuries and threw less than 200 innings during that time, but now his promise is coming to fruition. In the first game of the Astros series at home, Harris making his 9th start this year, blanked the Astros over 6 2/3 and lowered his ERA down to 2.98.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, we begin the 8 o'clock hour here in California, Sacramento. July 25th, the day before the start of the Olympics, even though we mentioned soccer is underway, rugby, a few other things, but the official opening ceremony is tomorrow. Each and every Thursday, we get a chance to check in with the Athletics' Sam Amick, who, let's find out where Sam is at the moment. Good morning, Sam, from here. What time of day is it where you are?
Good morning, Jason Ross. It is afternoon here in lovely Paris, France. It is 4 p.m. I am currently wandering around the media center, surrounded by hundreds of media members. I'm sure thousands if you count beyond this room, but glad to be with you, man. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I hope is this, I know this is a work vacation, but isn't this family as well? Have you been able to make the most of all this?
We had a wonderful vacation for the past 2 weeks, hence my Sacktown Sports absences. We went from London to Switzerland to Germany to Austria and back to London. So we've been making the rounds, and then the family headed home, and then I'll be out here on the Olympic Trail for the next few weeks.
Is there a highlight of the Amick family trip? That sounds great where you've been. Is there a personal highlight there?
I think we all agree. We would go with the experience in, I'm forgetting the name of the town, but we were in the Alps in Switzerland, which is a place, to be honest, that I never knew if I would get to, and I highly recommend if anybody has the means to pull it off. It was incredible. But riding these trotty bikes is what they're called, down a fairly steep ascent in true little Alps towns where you have adults and kids alike. And I would explain a trotty bike by just explaining that it has no pedals because it is a one-way trip that is aided by gravity. And so it's no pedals and nothing but brakes and flying around. And we did have one little accident. Thankfully, my sister was okay, but she took a pretty decent tumble. But that, from a sheer adrenaline standpoint, that was definitely the highlight of the trip.
That sounds like a balance between fear and fun on that, Sam. And you had one minor casualty there, but if that's all, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, no, thankfully not an actual casualty.
Yes.
But she listen, my older sister, I give her a lot of love and credit. She survived it, but we had a moment. We're getting in the weeds, but we were flying down the hill and we stopped and realized we were down a man, so to speak, and then found out that she was climbing back up the hill after taking a tumble. But no, it was fun stuff.
Good. I'm curious on obviously you're there in Paris. Just getting around Olympic security. We know there's a lot of heightened stuff, and we want everything safety wise first. Just just the navigating part of getting to and from venues. How hectic is that for you?
Still a work in progress. I mean, I got in yesterday from London, and the unique part of this experience that is definitely a handful, if you will, is the fact that basketball is in Lille, France, and not Paris. So to give you an idea, I'm staying out in Lille until the 4th of August. So there's quite a few media members from the U.S. doing the same thing, where you, like today, if you want to go down to Paris where Team USA is practicing, then you have to take a high-speed train that is about 80 minutes long and not very cheap. But so the logistics are tricky. Safety-wise, everything seems good so far. Certainly hope tomorrow with the opening ceremonies that those go off really well, down the Seine River. So, the Olympics are they're a pleasure. I've only done one before, so it's a professional highlight for sure, but they come with just a level of chaos that you kind of just have to deal with, and eventually you find your stride.
I know you're just arriving, so maybe you don't have the full accuracy of everything there, but what's kind of the tone with Team USA? Look, they're the favorite. They've got a great team, but it's been a little wobbly on some of their, prep to get here. What do you feel like the tone is of the squad as they're getting ready to go for gold?
Well, Jay, you're making me feel better about what I'm writing today with your question, because truthfully, I don't, on the NBA side, I typically have a good feel for what people want to read about and learn about, right? I'm trying to gauge the level of interest in the national team, but your question, I think, speaks to what is front and center, which is that there's a level of concern that is pretty impossible to miss. So today, I went to the national team's practice. It's a facility, in downtown Paris. It's actually the same gym where Victor Wembanyama was playing about a year and a half ago, kind of where he came from. And Steve Kerr, the national team coach for the second straight day, was very critical of the way Team USA has played. And he was critical yesterday, but yesterday he focused more so on the 4-point win over Germany. Today he kind of looped in the South Sudan game where they won by 1, and just very plainly stated that they had been outplayed from an energy and effort standpoint, and even detailed, guys jogging down the break, getting back on defense, not boxing people out, like really, really basic stuff. And I thought the context he shared was interesting. He went out of his way to say, we're not traveling around anymore, meaning all the exhibition games, as you know, they went from from Vegas to Abu Dhabi to London. And so a lot of travel, and it seemed like Steve was basically saying, all right, all your excuses are out the window. We are playing with fire here, and it's time to maximize what we can be before we get embarrassed, because we know it's an all or nothing venture for Team USA. It's just gold or nothing.
You know him a little bit. Speaking of Kurt, did you gauge this, Sam, as a level of concern, or is this kind of one of those, hey, coaches, little prodding through the media, we gotta sharpen up here? Where do you feel like he was falling in line there?
No, it felt pretty genuine. It felt like, the column I'm writing right now just says that I think probably his intent was to sound the alarms, because I think he did that with his comments, but I think he's trying to sound the alarms internally. And there's just such an interesting, unique pressure that comes with this challenge, because he also highlighted that, an NBA team that, wins the championship or gets to the finals is going to wind up playing 120 games, you know what I mean, potentially. And you have time to start the season 0-2 or 0-3 and not have it really be that big of a deal. And you can tell that, amid all the pomp and circumstance of the games, and LeBron is getting the honor of carrying the flag for all of the Americans, and Steph Curry is enjoying his first Olympics, all these things around the edges, the experience, if you will, of being in the games, you can tell that Steve is sitting there in the middle saying, guys, if we blow it here, all the happiness, all the fun, all the joy is going to disappear. And he knows that there's a Serbian team waiting for him on Sunday that they blew out in their exhibition game, but that was with no Bogdan Bogdanovic. I believe some other starters didn't play as well. Nikola Jokic certainly played and was mostly, looked like himself. But yeah, I think Steve, I mean, there's a sense that I was going to say that he's hurting cats. It's not like that, but I think he just getting these guys to lock in and make sure that they don't come out of here with any regrets is a big part of his job.
I don't know how big of a story it is going or how much it'll continue, but Kevin Durant not being fully available. What's kind of his status looking like as we go forward?
Yeah, I mean, still non-committal when it comes to whether he's going to play on Sunday. He was asked about it today, and they indicated that he would be practicing today. We got to see a little bit of practice, but not the scrimmage that they supposedly had. But nobody came out and said we'll have Kevin for sure on Sunday, and that's a major issue. The Americans in years past, a lot of times, and Carmelo Anthony played a big part of this. Is whenever they seem to be struggling with the style of play with FIBA, the 40-minute games and the rules changes and the different three-point line, they would have these bucket getters who, just reminded you that, even if they're not as comfortable as they would have been in the NBA game, they can just be dominant. And Melo used to do that. Mm-hmm. Durant has done that. He was the all-time leading scorer for the program. They need him back because LeBron and the way he's carried the team late has been fun to watch. But and they've hinted at this stuff. It's come a little bit at the expense of the offense, having the kind of rhythm and flow that I think Steve Kerr would want. And the defense hasn't been up to par in those two games that I mentioned before. But, as far as Kevin goes, it's still kind of an open question.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up LeBron. I was talking about him yesterday. Look, I know there's a lot of people in this area, anything Lakers, you just, you frown upon. And I'm not asking people to like LeBron, but I hope they appreciate what he's doing. I mean, still, Sam, I just marvel at him. Like, he did save the day the last couple of games, and he's going to be 40, and he's playing again in the Olympics, and it's just – he's still great when he needs to be, and I think it's just a marvel to watch. I don't know how you feel about him.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that even if, let's say he had a minimal impact the rest of the way, because honestly, that happens a lot on the national team. Big-time stars, like these guys are all stars. So, I don't think LeBron is going to continue carrying them the way he has. But even if he didn't have any more games like that, these are some pretty special memories for a guy whose career is obviously legendary already. And it's not really, to me, qualified with hey, that's pretty good for a almost 40-year-old. It's just great stuff no matter what his age has been. And really, I mean, he has helped them avoid disaster because even taking a loss in exhibition play, I think the optics of it would have been really bad. And it, maybe raises the confidence of some of the teams that they're going to face in pool play coming up here. So, fun to watch. He seems to be soaking it in and having a humility kind of about the experience and his part in it. So, I mean, there's so much to enjoy, I think, about this group. And then it just, again, Jay, it comes with this one massive caveat, which is the history books are not going to focus on all that fun stuff if they don't get the job done.
Yeah. And the other reality is, we've been saying it for a while. We may send some of our best players, and you can argue if it's the absolute best team, but the team is stacked. The rest of the world, Sam, is more than caught up. Like, the gap is just, there's a lot of good teams. Canada's loaded. We saw what Germany did the other day. You mentioned some of the other contenders. I mean, I think they should be favorites, but this won't be easy for them, will it?
No, it won't be. And it was interesting on that front to see the different tone that different people were taking. So we talked about Steve Kerr. So Steph Curry and Kevin Durant they had more of a massive press conference with, worldwide media today as well. Right. And I forget what the question was, but they actually had a kind of a fun, lighthearted moment where Steph, and this relates to what you're hitting on, Steph turned to Durant, and it was almost as if they were having a private conversation together in some room where he said to Kevin, he goes, "Hey, you see that stat out there about how the Dream Team in 92 only faced 9 NBA players, and we're going to face, it was either 64 or 65 NBA players." And Kevin literally finished his sentence because he had seen the stat, And these guys, they were contextualizing why it's not probably fair to expect them to be as dominant as the 92 team was, which, they won by an average of almost 44 points. So that, that's the conversation right now, right? Is yes, the rest of the world was caught up, but, didn't we think with LeBron and Steph Curry and again, Durant's not playing yet, but Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker and all the way down the line that they would have a little slice of the dominant American legacy again. And so far it's not been the case.
I know, game plans and things change, and maybe there's not too much to read on this, but former King Tyrese Halliburton didn't play at all the other day. He doesn't seem to be getting as much run, and the roster's stacked. So, look, they're trying to do their best to win this thing, but any read on that? Is it just kind of caught up in the numbers game for Halliburton?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that was to be expected, especially when they're just not defending the way they want to. Tyrese is going to be the first guy to go on that front. And I mean, shoot, you talk about Durant coming back, that's going to have a crunch on the roster to be sure. It wouldn't shock anybody to see Tyrese, I think, not get much, if any, time. Even somebody as great as Devin Booker, I wonder, what the rotations are going to look like, because we were talking about it today. Drew Holiday is such an important defender. And again, if you're going to have that be a big part of your identity, then, maybe Holiday continues to start. But, if Durant knocks Booker out of the starting lineup because Kevin's a two-way player, then we'll see what the rest of it looks like. But, yeah, I mean, Tyrese he's an accomplished young player, certainly not yet on the level of some of these guys. And I don't think, as long as Steph Curry is healthy, that's a big surprise.
Are those guys, look, I mean, you can make the argument in some of the other sports that are competing in the Olympics that they're professionals in their sport, but I mean, these are household names. Are these guys treated differently? Are you getting a sense of that out there, that they're different than the other Olympians? Do you have that vibe at all yet?
Well, I mean, there's always the kind of I was going to say annual, it's every 4 years, the discussion about how they don't stay in the Olympic Village with the other athletes. And it becomes a little mini controversy every single time. And that was brought up today. And, I thought they did a good job of saying, like, okay, fine, we don't stay there for reasons that, really they're incredibly famous, and security wise, it's just a different calculus than it is for another American athlete. But their messaging is very much like out here. They're the ones in awe of a lot of the different athletes that they never get a chance to see up close. Steph Curry talked about that and how, you do kind of feel like you're just another person representing your country. I even noticed on Steph's Instagram feed, when they were in London, he had a picture of his visit to go see the Big Ben clock tower. And I'm sure he had ample security around him, but the picture just looked like a regular dude with like a golf hat on, as if he was able to just walk around. And that kind of surprised me, because it seemed like he was moving a little differently than he would be maybe back in the States. I think that is the fun part of the Olympics, right? Is that, once the national team made that choice to start using pros instead of the college players, it kind of changed the landscape on that front, but it seems like a lot of these pros are kind of, putting themselves on the same level.
I mean, I know it's for the country, which is kind of a phenomenon here. And, there's something about trying to win a gold medal. But, Sam, you spend the whole year covering, LeBron going against Steph, Tatum going against Embiid. And now they're teammates. Like, it seems pretty seamless. But, how much are those guys, do you get a vibe of them talking about their battles, or, the free agency that happened, or the year ahead, or are they just kind of all locked in on this goal right now?
It's funny, because I think they're locked in. It's almost disappointing, if I'm being honest with you. like the fan part of me, I guess, that enjoys basketball. Like you would hope that, that Kevin Durant is having a beer with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr and saying, man, I'm sorry for how this went down when we played together with the Warriors, or, you know what I mean? Like there's so much history. We always assume, as you mentioned Steph and LeBron, like the final battles, the history on this team. And this was a topic of discussion at the press conference today, it is really interesting. You got Eric Spoelstra, who obviously did a great job coaching LeBron James, won 2 championships, but ultimately said goodbye to him, as coach of the Heat, where LeBron left Spo and the Heat. There's a lot of connective tissue between a lot of these players. And I thought that Durant made a hell of a point today talking about how, the Americans have a lack of continuity and a lack of chemistry that is born out of the fact that they've been together for 3 weeks. And he was basically hopeful that some of the history between all these different parties was going to help them in the end, because they have a lot of layers to their relationships. Even seeing Steph and Kevin up there on the podium together, strikes memories of all the time they spent together. And it's a pretty cool, unique space where they can temporarily, slide back onto the same team and try to maximize this experience. But to your question, I don't think I think they're just honestly enjoying themselves, having a good time playing ball. I don't feel like they're behind the scenes, telling old war stories.
Because that's what I'm with you. I kind of vision that, like old war stories, or even just marveling at, hey, can you believe this guy signed for this and this team added this guy, and maybe they're doing some of that in their off time. Who knows? As far as you go, Sam, is this all basketball, or you get a chance to get to any other events? I mean, I know you're working, but how's your schedule going to be?
TBD. I'm not sure, my friend. It's the thing with Lille and that kind of geography challenge.
Yeah.
It makes it a little tougher to jump in on the other sports. That could change a bit when I come to Paris. I think the 4th to the 12th, I'll be down in Paris for the medal rounds, and maybe it'll be a little bit different. But yeah, focusing on hoops. I've only done the Olympics one time before, which was in Rio, and I hope to replicate some of those experiences, because I remember watching Michael Phelps's last race. Watching, I think it was Venus, and I hope I'm not getting that wrong, but one of the Williams sisters do her thing on the tennis court, and interviewing Simone Biles. I had one day, and I had a different job back then. This was for USA Today. But, I remember I wrote a column on Gabby Douglas and kind of, what her Olympic experience was like. So it is neat to see, some of the best in these other sports and these other kind of spaces that I don't get too often. So hopefully I can do some of that.
Well, I know you've been away, didn't really get a chance to get out to Vegas and Summer League and some of the other stories going on, but the one that has been looming out there, just would love your thought on the new television deal, and still some finer points that may be going on with a lawsuit potentially from TNT, but just a massive deal for NBC, ESPN, Amazon. What's your take on that?
Expected. We've known for months, of course, that this was, unofficially done. They were just kind of crossing T's and dotting I's. Little kind of late plot twist that ultimately I don't think, and I'm not a legal expert, but I don't get the sense is going to materially change anything when you had TNT publicly indicating that they had exercised their right to match the Amazon Prime portion of the offer, and then the NBA fairly quickly announcing that they didn't fully match and that they plan on going with Amazon. So feel for all the people at Turner and NBA TV and, friends and colleagues of mine who are now facing some uncertainty there. And as the more kind of spotlighted part of this is the end of the Inside the NBA run that's been so incredible. I would highly recommend for folks who enjoy the show to read the column from our David Aldridge, who spent a very long time being featured on that show. DA wrote a great piece just going down memory lane about Inside the NBA and what it's meant to the game and to the audience. So that part of it is certainly a sad, subplot, if you will. The rest of it, I'm just fascinated to see, in terms of the consumers and the fans, how does everybody feel about things, 4 or 5 years from now when it's, the streaming reality that it comes with today's era where, even myself, I don't have Peacock, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, all right, I guess I got to get Peacock, and go down. I have Amazon and, certainly have ESPN, but the kind of fragmentation of the experience, it's it's growth for sure for the NBA, but it's a very different experience than the mid 80s and the early 90s when 15 million people are turning on NBC to watch the NBA finals.
Right. Constant adjustment, that's for sure. Sam, always appreciate checking in with you. Thank you so much for taking time for us. I know this was very nice of you on your working time out there. Enjoy your time. Safe journeys home, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks, Jay. Be good, my friend.
All right, thank you. Sam Amick. I mean, incredible stuff there with Team USA. As he said, Steve Kerr basically calling out Team USA. Time for more intensity. We'll see. As they wait on Kevin Durant getting healthy. But look, that roster is still stacked. Brought up Tyrese Halliburton. Kind of, if the team's looking for defense and improvement there, that's not the guy they'll go to. But Chris, the reality, and I thought that was actually an interesting stat, like the Dream Team, the original one that's so well chronicled and how great they were, and they were, played against 9 NBA players. This group's going to play against 60 plus. It's just a different game now.
Also, I went back and watched that old 30 for 30 on Vlade Divac and Drazen Petrovic.
Yeah.
And also forget they were like the team that could actually stand a chance against the U.S. and Yugoslavia was in a civil war and they're being separated. So they couldn't have a full team to really challenge the U.S.
Didn't really have the best version that faced
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So, I mean, I know the Dream Team's considered the greatest team of all time, and it's not to poke that apart, but there are reasons for it. Obviously, they were great players, and they had a great roster, but it was a mismatch. But they dominated. There wasn't really any mystery there. It's more even now, and Team USA is the favorite. I do believe they'll win the gold, but I think there'll be games like we just had here where it's 2 possessions in the final minute or two. Yeah.
And the last few Olympics have been like that.
Yeah.
This isn't an outlier.
No, exactly. And it's just been getting closer and closer. And they've lost, too, in the past Olympics, too. So we'll see. But, again, it's a great roster. I don't know any other way that Team USA can do it. They try to have the group that played together last summer. And there's some of those guys that are back. But, when you add LeBron and you add KD and you're not going to say no to those guys. And they're great players, but, you're kind of putting everybody together, not a lot of time together. And that's just the way we do it. I think more of the teams internationally play a lot more together, and they've done it for years. But they're also really good, too. I don't want to diminish their overall talent. All right, so there you go. I appreciate our guest there, Sam Amick. More to get to on the show. Again, Niners at 9 at the top of the hour. Still got who's hot and who's not coming up, and let's go streaking. But when we come back, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier with our guest, Michael McCarthy, senior writer at Front Office Sports. We're going to have a topic here of sports then and now, how different it was 20 years ago and what it might be now and what it might be going forward. We'll kind of try to do our best speculating and where things might land between overall innovations and changes in sports. We'll do that when we come back on Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of the spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
Jason Mraz and the Super Band. Live. The mystical, magical, rhythmical, radical ride. Friday, August 9th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Jason Mraz and the Super Band with special guest Molly Miller Trio. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Jason Mraz and the Super Band in concert. Pick up the new album, Mystical, Magical, Rhythmical, Radical Ride.
Unleash your backyard's potential with premier pools and spas. As the region's top pool builder, no challenge is too difficult for us. Let us create the perfect pool for your home and your budget. Call or search Premier Pools and Spas and get started today. CSLB number 589234.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville. Sacramento, Dierks Bentley is coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Harmony, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated and Dawson Oil Company.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Jason Ross, Christopher Laud, rolling right along here till 10 o'clock. Then we got Styles and Watkins coming your way at 10. Got some celebrity birthdays to go through with them and see what's coming up on their show. We look forward to that at the end of the show, each and every show. Also coming up in our next segment, your chance. Make sure you're listening. Your chance to win tickets, a pair of tickets to Mick and the Stones tribute show coming up at Thunder Valley. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. We'll have that, and it'll tell you what caller number to be coming up in our next segment. But, Chris, this was a topic you thought, and I like this a lot. Something about, sports then and now. If you think about, yesterday, just different things we've been talking about. Yesterday we were talking about, hey, remember people on the chat line even like, I remember the Pac-8. Well, then it was the Pac-10, then the Pac-12, and it's gone. 18 teams in the Big Ten. Nebraska's in the Big Ten. What? Well, that's been years now. UCLA, USC in the Big Ten. That's going on. So that's been a change that I would have never visioned. I mean, could have not even possibly thought of 20 years ago, let's say. So that's going on now. We mentioned it earlier with our first guest, Michael McCarthy, about, I mean, everybody's got their cell phone. I got a phone here. There was a time where like I would see somebody, are they watching a game on their phone? How's this magic box work? How'd they do that? And I go, I'll never do that. I'll never. Yes.
You have to. If you're a diehard fan of a team,
yep.
You not only have to have the ability to watch it on your phone, you have to have all of the streaming devices, streaming accounts to watch your team.
And I thought that was interesting. Did you agree or disagree with Michael McCarthy's thought? Like I asked him just a general guess in 20 years. He's like, I just think it'll be so much more specialized. And that's probably where it will go. Like, hey, I just like, who's your favorite player on Man City?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay. So if they had a Kevin De Bruyne cam as an option,
yeah,
I don't know that you're watching that primarily, but it'd be available to you.
Yeah, they already have something like that on Peacock. It goes in and out, but they have the tactical camera, so it's like really high up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not seeing like close up, but you're able to see the entire field and the formations that they're making. So it's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so where are we going in the next 20 years in sports? Whether that's the actual rules, concepts, leagues, formations to broadcast, like try to speculate what innovations and things we could see different in sports just 20 years from now. And you and I were talking on the phone yesterday. One of the things I really liked, and I don't know how many years ago this was done, maybe about 10, where like the Fox game of the week, they broadcast a baseball game, and they did it like through the 9 innings, but through like the generation. So like in any one, it was in black and white, which was very abnormal for all of us to see. And you're like, wait, what is this? And then inning 2 or 3 might've been like games of the 70s and 80s. And the weird thing that stuck out to that is like, where's the score? How many outs? Are there runners on like this? Just that's not the way we did things.
And
then.
It's funny because when they started putting those things on the screen, a lot of people are like, I want to watch the game. Yeah. I don't want to see all this garbage on my TV.
This distracting thing in the lower corner that has the time and first down and 10. Now it's like, where's the yellow line? Where's the
it is kind of crazy that there was no like first down marker for a lot of football.
And now that's just absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
And now, now, Chris, you could have a hitter coming up. It's like, OPS, exit velocity, average. It was like, okay, give me all that. Like I can consume it all. But before, I remember when that crawl, like right now, when we got ESPN, like they got a crawl. They've also got a lower third where is Justin Herbert overrated to this point. But below that, Twins.
And how does this affect the Warriors?
Yes, Twins 5, Phillies 4, Kepler walk-off single, ad for the Little League World Series up top, overcharged. It's fine.
What's bad is I found myself becoming an old man watching like the baseball games. I'm like, you don't have to show me the strike zone. Like,
yes, yeah. Or when hockey added the blue line, like for the puck.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Because like I understand. Well, what's weird is you understand it because it was like back in the day, it was hard to follow the puck, especially if you're like new to the sport. But ironically, HDTV basically fixed that for golf and hockey and that. But then like the little things like with golf, I love seeing like the tracker.
Yeah.
Because you would see like the golfer hit the ball and you'd get the close up on the ball and going, but you never really had like you can never really had that judgment of how far it was going or what any of that was. So I really like that.
One thing I've been saying for years that I feel like is partially true that's come to fruition, but not entirely the way I thought it would be executed. I always thought, Chris, at some point we are going to have, much like the track, like a horse track, like you go to a Kings game and there's going to be betting windows like, okay, I want to bet that De'Aaron Fox is going to get 10 or more points in the first half. And it's the FanDuel Sportsbook sports bar or whatever.
And that's what it's like in Europe.
Yeah, but that's kind of now here.
Yeah.
I think we're doing it. It's just I can bet on my phone at these games. I don't think we need the true like pay window.
I am interested because did you happen to see the tour of the Intuit Dome?
I've seen parts of it, but I wouldn't say a full tour.
The really cool thing I liked is I think they have like charging stations at the seats. What's cool.
Made sense.
But there's also something on the armrest where there's like these buttons there. And apparently they're for like in-game like games for like the fans and stuff like that.
Wow. I mean, Okay, that's going to sound. I'm like to me, like go for the game, but I just said, look, I can handle all these things on the screen.
I think it's more of the, like during the Kings games, like, all right, we're going to show you 4 dunks from the past. Which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
So it's like that. I think it makes it easier. So I do like that.
And so I think, there's, I guess if we try to fast forward, what is it going to be? I think it's all competition. Like I need to make sure I still get Chris Verlaut and Jason Ross at the sporting event. But I also, if you don't go, I need you to enjoy your television experience. If that's on TV, if that's on your phone, if that's on a streaming platform, if that's through virtual reality goggles, I don't know where we're going, but it's just all of this is crazy. And, whether there's rule changes or league format changes or, I don't know if any other sport will become more popular. Like we've had different phases where there was a time maybe in the 90s, like is motorsports becoming the most popular sport. And then that kind of didn't happen. We've had MMA really grow crazy, but I don't know that it's jumped into it's still popular. But I mean, football just keeps growing. Basketball, I think, has done a good job. Baseball's the one that's gone the other way. What other things could you see in 20 years from now?
20 years, I think there will be a time when college football and college basketball will no longer be completely associated with the school.
The rest of the NCAA.
I think they're going to try and figure out something to just break them off because
some business model.
Because it just can't exist like this. It wasn't. I don't think it's what it was meant to be, and it's 100% a business.
Yeah. And then you get, I mean, honestly, it has trickled down to other sports. I don't know if you saw the story yesterday. I don't remember her name. I apologize for that. But it's a softball player that was at Stanford is leaving to go to Oklahoma or Texas, wherever, somewhere other than Stanford because she got a $1 million NIL deal.
And how could you turn that down?
No, you can't. I don't blame her.
Especially like as a softball player.
Yeah. And so these schools now have these funds that they're basically putting together that now you and I, so if we started to do the Sac State has it, it's just a much smaller one. So if you and I are contributing to it and we hear of like some local play, like, hey, we got to make sure we get, Mason from Carmichael Dave, his son, like we got to get him.
Now that I'm thinking about this,
yeah.
I mean, like, how would we be able to sponsor like a player? Could there be an official Carmichael Dave show with Jason Ross?
Yes.
College
I
player.
mean, we'd have to get the funds, but yeah.
I think that's something to think about.
And then what rights would we have? Like, you got to be a regular guest.
Yes.
We're going to track your career.
Yes.
But we got you to this school.
Yes.
Oh, man. What a concept.
And think about having this conversation 5 years ago.
Yeah, like you can't. That's illegal. It's not anymore. It's like not even like maybe it was illegal, but people did it. But now it's like, no, we're doing this. We're helping fund to get you to this school. And, go be great. And, we'll get the perks too, because we think you're going to be great. We're kind of betting on you. And then we're also going to have access. Like, what's it like with the team? Here's our interview. Like, what happened there on this play? Why did you, congrats on the game winner.
Now that I'm just thinking about this out loud, will it be a point of where it is like with soccer where you're selling contracts to other teams?
I don't know.
Like, I think at some point, I think that with the lawsuit where they had to, where the NCAA came to an agreement with former players about paying them and all of that, I think we are going to get, because the big thing is just like these the coaches have been saying like, oh man, we only get these guys for a year and they're going to a different school and we just can't. This is ridiculous. We can't keep on to these kids and stuff like that. Well, there's a very easy option. You should be able to sign a player to a contract.
Right.
You should be like, okay, for like football, we will sign you to a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option. So like, if you're good enough, maybe you are being drafted or that. And I think that's going to be something that it's crazy to say 18-year-olds are going to have to think about in the future.
I know. And I mean, it's just some of these things that you just can't.
I think that would be a lot better for basketball too, is because I think a lot of the problems that I've said before is with a basketball player, these coaches, like especially in high school and basketball, are just trying to get as much as they can and know that they have a short time. With, I guess, high school, you can have them for longer, but even then players are going to different schools in that case. So say you only have a kid for 2 years. Well, are you going to try and develop them and make them an all-around better player, or are you going to say, nope, I just want you to do what you're good at and we'll try and hide your deficiencies. And then once you get to the NBA, it's just like, oh man, they know my deficiencies and they are going right after it.
I just can't get past the idea in my head of us trying to acquire a player with a show branded sponsorship. Hey, sponsors, if you're out there, maybe we're onto something here, because it can be done. It literally can be done. Wow. It's just, that's the modern age. And I don't, I feel like that's got mess written all over it, and we're already in it, but I just don't know how that'll go.
That's the thing. I think the NCAA is just like, okay, there's a gray area. We're fine with it as long as we're getting our cut.
Right.
And then once that gets threatened, that's when they're like, okay, we'll settle right now. We don't need to take this, because I don't think it's been really explained a lot. If that lawsuit would have went through and the NCAA lost, it very well could have been the end of college sports.
I know, just absolutely crazy. So 20 years from now, what will we be talking about in our sports world? Something to truly follow. Hey, as we break here, we're going to come back. We got 2 questions for you. Who's hot and who's not? Chris will answer those. We also will go streaking, see how we did yesterday. But as we go to break, your chance right now, experience the ultimate tribute band, Mick and the Stones, this August only at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now. We are looking for caller number 2. Got to be quick. Caller number 2 to score a pair of tickets to check an unforgettable night of the songs you know and love from Mick and the Stones, only at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Again, for more information, you can visit sacktownsports.com. Who's hot? We don't know. Who's not? We'll find out. That's straight ahead.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hey, look, we're all getting older. Things happen in our past that we'd like to maybe forget and move on, but maybe sometimes that past is still following you. So what do you do about that? Well, I've got someone that can help you out. If it's keeping you from getting to certain areas you'd like, or just restricting certain things, how about an expungement? It can happen. And my guy, Jonathan Gonzalez at the Gonzalez Law Offices can help you with that. So why don't you go to sacklegaldefense.com, figure out right there. You can see all the different things that they can provide. And you could schedule a consultation if you need to today. It's right there, and they'll tell you how to do it. There's testimonials on this website. They'll tell you about all the different things that they've done and do and continue to do on a day-to-day basis. Jonathan Gonzalez is right here in our community on J Street. Been to his office. He's one of us. He's a Sacramentan. He's on the river. He's just family man. Like, you will see him, and he's got a lot of experience. If your case in this situation needs to go to court, not afraid to try it, he will do that. He's done that before and will do it again. It has a great success rate. But also maybe you've got a wrongful termination case. That happens quite a bit. You need some representation. Again, the Gonzalez Law Office. Auto accident, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure you've got someone you know, someone that you trust, not some big brand that you just can't get to the person that's the figurehead in those television commercials you see. How about someone that you can call, contact, meet, and see? That's the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. Again, go to sacklegaldefense.com to find out more.
Hot summer savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 73124.
Made a great deal at Maida.
The PGA Club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. About 6 months ago, I got my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, and it's the best car driving experience I've ever had. And I'm here to tell you Mercedes-Benz of Stockton not only has cars and SUVs, they also have Sprinter vans. That's right. So if you're a company looking for a new fleet of vehicles, check out my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans will haul anything you put in them, and your crew members will love driving them. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now. They have special rates starting at 4.9% APR and an $8,000 discount on over 30 vans in stock. Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans. They are ready to customize for any use. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton today, just a short drive down I-5, or anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com. Tell them your boy Drape sent you.
Hey, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. It's Brett Young and Chase Rice at Thunder Valley on August 3rd. Plus, Jason Mraz and the Super Band will be rocking Thunder Valley on August 9th. Then head out of the heat to higher elevation for the Truckee Music Festival on August 9th and 10th, featuring Kip Moore and Sublime. And here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater, featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donnie Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. Rounding out this rockin' lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival from September 12th through the 15th, featuring Joe Nichols and Smash Mouth. For information and tickets, visit grapefestival.com. And then stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets. What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, congrats to our winner, Dane. Did he come on and go, this is Derek Jeter? Number 2?
He did not.
All right. We're at a streak of 1 with impressions on the number that we choose, so that's all right. Congrats, Dane. Winner. We'll have another opportunity tomorrow.
He said he is Kyle Walker, strangely enough. So. Only I got that.
Yeah, only you did. I have no idea what you just said. All right. We got Niners at 9 coming up to start the 9 o'clock hour, obviously there. But we do have this right now. Chris Verlod, who is hot?
Lawrence Butler.
Lawrence Butler of the Oakland A's?
That Lawrence Butler.
Okay. What is he doing?
Over his last 12 games, he has had 21 hits, 21 RBIs, 2 triples, and 6 home runs. Now, since the RBI became an official stat, the only players who have had those same numbers in a 12-game span are Lou Gehrig, Chuck Klein, Hank Greenberg, Joe DiMaggio, and Willie Mays.
Chuck Klein is on that list.
Yes. I don't know if you noticed that, but they're all Hall of Famers.
I did not know Chuck Klein was a Hall of Famer. Yeah. I was mocking Chuck Klein, and he's a great player.
Yeah.
Good for him. Why have we not been taking Lawrence Butler and streaking?
I know.
The A's play today. Okay, so he's hot. I mean, someone out there or a team or something is not. Who's not?
U.S. men's Olympic soccer. Specifically Olympic soccer. Yesterday, the U.S. men's soccer team lost 3-0 to France in their first time playing in the Olympics since 2008. And going further back in U.S. soccer's history at the Olympics, the men's team's best performance was a silver medal in 1904. The interesting fact about that, there were only 3 teams to compete in the Olympics that year, and 2 were from the United States.
So we had what, silver and a bronze?
Yes.
USA. USA.
In the fabulous city of St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, you would love St. Louis. You would have gone to the Olympics in St. Louis.
Actually, I've seen these historical pictures of St. Louis, what they used to do for the World Fair, and all these buildings and stuff. Wow, St. Louis used to be a very nice city.
What is it? St. Louis and
Seattle.
And
the state of Arkansas.
Okay. In a weird world, you are given 3 options, and you have to move to Seattle, Arkansas, or St. Louis. Those are the only choices you have. What are you doing? And why?
I am moving to Seattle, and I am just staying away from everybody.
Okay.
Because the only thing I don't like about Seattle is the people.
Wow. Seattle, not so much the city.
Like if there was
people.
If there was a situation where like for some reason everyone in Seattle like left town for a week, that would be my perfect vacation.
On my way to Seattle. Yeah, you.
I really do like the weather
The
and
city's
like
pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just the people.
I mean,
they just think that they're better at everything.
all of them, that's
All
legit.
of them.
Okay.
I had a friend move up there, and and she's like, I don't know what you're saying about Seattle. It's very nice up here. I'm like, well, she's like, I made a lot of friends. I'm like, how many of those friends, like,
are from Seattle?
Like born and bred in Seattle? She's like, oh, that's a good point.
Okay, so now if we take Seattle off the table, it's now a choice between
St. Louis.
Arkansas. Oh, shots at Arkansas. Arkansas has moved into the lead in the power rankings of the least desirable place for you.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. I knew about Seattle and I knew about St.
I mean,
Louis.
like St. Louis, I guess it's closer to Chicago than Arkansas.
All right, so that's who's hot and who's not. Well done, Chris. Let's do it. Let's go streaking.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing?
We're streaking. All right, couple of entries from the YouTube, Chris. Vancouver is better than Seattle. Well, I think you would agree with that, even if you haven't been to Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver.
And
People rave about Vancouver.
I really want to go to Vancouver. I love Portland. So
Okay.
whenever I have like a friend that hasn't been to either Portland or Seattle, and they're like, oh, I want to go to Seattle, and I ask them why, and as they're explaining, I'm like, go to Portland. It's way better.
I do feel the difference there are different vibes in those two cities.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Weather's similar, but the vibes are different.
I would say Portland, if it makes sense with the places I've been. Portland is more like Austin, Texas, and Seattle is more like San Francisco.
Okay. I don't
just vibe-wise.
I can see that. Portland is weird though. In a good weird.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird. It's weird.
It knows who it is.
Yeah. and I think it just goes for weird, which is okay. Mark is suggesting Seattle and live on a boat.
Yeah.
Could you live on a boat?
Boat guy?
Yeah. Guy just got a boat.
Guy just got a boat.
MZ, that's where I'd go. Seattle is fun to visit. I lived up there for 2 years. Okay. There you go. Let's go streaking. Let's recap. Dave was at 1. I was at 1. I think I might be at more, but I still got to figure that out. Chris was at 3.
No, you got to your last. Oh wait, no, you haven't gone since.
Yeah, I was out. I think I was higher than that, but I have to go back and listen to see where we were. So Dave did actually participate. He texted you and said who he was going to pick yesterday?
Yes.
He took
picked
Jaron Duran?
Yes.
Who had 5 plate appearances. There were 27 runs in that game. Rockies scored 20. Red Sox scored 7. He went 3 for 5.
Of course he did.
So Carmichael Dave is at 2. I took from the same game Rafael Devers, all those hits and runs. So he was 3 for 3.
Oh, hello.
This might have been our best day of streaking. So Dave had 3 hits. I had 3 hits. Chris, you were at 3 trying to get to 4. And you had Vlad Guerrero Jr., 3 plate appearances, 2 hits. So as a show, what were we? 8 for 11.
Wow.
We are getting some hits.
Maybe I should have put that for what's hot.
Yeah, and some dangers. All right, so Chris, as the show leader with 4 consecutive days of hits, who are you picking today? Less games today, keep in mind.
I'm going to take from the Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman.
Okay. I am going to take from the Baltimore Orioles, Gunnar.
That was going to be, I was thinking about going to Gunnar.
Gunnar Henderson. All right. They've lost a couple in a row.
And I will let you know if Dave texts me back.
Okay. I just put Adley Henderson for you. Adley Rutschman. Gunnar Henderson. There you go. Who's hot? Who's not? And let's go streaking. All right. Final hour ahead. Busy hour. We got Crosstalk with Styles and Watkins. We'll tell you what to watch. Some good this date in sports history. There's a classic wanna get away that is a shot at a team that I root for.
Oh, just got a text from Dave.
Oh, yeah?
No, he picked?
Who?
quote, give me that one dude on the A's that's on fire and has like 20 RBIs in his last 20 games.
Okay, he's in. Dave, you got him. All right, when we come back, Niners at 9. The difference between contract negotiations with Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams. We've got that next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what you doing for Chrysler's Make This the Summer sales event?
Well, this month we have something special that only happens once a year. Big savings on one of America's most capable minivans. Right now you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining 23 Chrysler Pacifica hybrids, and that's on all trims.
Now, you said Chrysler Pacifica hybrids. Those things get 82 miles per gallon E with gas prices so high and $17,000 off MSRP. That's a no-brainer.
And a deal like this only happens once a year. So this is the time to take advantage of this savings at the dealership and at the pump.
The savings won't last long. Stop by Hoblet Dodge for a test drive today or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$17,000 total net savings after $7,500 factory rebates and $9,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $7,500 federal EV tax credit offered by a third party and subject to change. Consult a tax professional for details and eligibility. 82 MPGE combined city highway rating based on fueleconomy.gov EPA rating. Send this net savings while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
very rude of you to be on the phone while we're doing the show.
That was. I got a call from Carmichael Dave during the break there. And that's
so
classic.
it must have been something important, something to do.
It was. You were in here for it. Classic Dave. I mean, just classic Dave. He heard the beginning of the show when you referenced, what's the house down the street? What do they have?
Jack Skellington.
Jack Skellington. So then he's like, that got me thinking of, best holiday movies. And most people are going to say Christmas, which, I mean, there's the most of those. But then he said, what, Valentine's Day would be sneaky. And I don't know how many of those are. But, I mean, there's love stories. But Halloween. Then he said, you got born on the 4th of July. And you're like, yeah, so you got that and Independence Day.
Yeah, I can't think of any other 4th of July. Heavyweights. Because I believe the obstacle course takes place on 4th of July.
Okay.
Maybe not.
But I think that might be a topic when he comes back.
But I guess he would be like summer movies would be 4th of July, right? Yeah. Like Vacation. Oh, I finally saw like the newest Vacation.
Uh-huh.
That is a good movie.
I saw it in the theater and I remember wanting to love it. And, there are some funny parts in it.
See, so I think that's where we're going in different directions because I was just like, I'm not doing anything. What the heck? I'll throw it on, not expecting anything from it. I'm like, this is really funny.
There are some pretty good parts. There were.
A couple parts I wanted to throw up, but
yeah. But I mean, also maybe it's more nostalgia. Like I'll go back and watch the old Vacation all the time. If it's ever on, I watch it, but I'm like, was this really good? Or
that's
is it
probably
just
the one I've seen the least amount.
The original one?
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely seen that the most. Wait, there's that European, Christmas, and Vegas.
Yeah.
I remember not liking Vegas Vacation, but I've liked it more post theater.
Oh, it's close to my favorite. Because I want to say the first one I saw was Christmas Vacation.
Okay. Classic.
Then Vegas Vacation.
Yeah. European's okay.
Then went back to
Pig and a Poke.
See the regular one. Yeah. Like I think, but the thing is, I've seen Christmas and Vegas Vacation a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I think the first one just once and like European Vacation just twice.
Mr. Papa Giorgio.
From Yuma, Arizona.
Yes.
No corrective lenses tonight, Mr. Papa Giorgio? No, I do not require them.
So good. So good. And again, I've said it before. I mean, I think Chevy Chase is very funny. Apparently, he's just a jerk. That's what a lot of people say. But Fletch is my all-time favorite. I love that movie. Fletch Lives, not bad either. Did you ever see Fletch Lives or Fletch?
I saw Fletch.
Fletch Lives?
No.
There was also a new one that John Hamm was
I
confessed.
haven't seen that one yet.
It was okay. It was okay. He did a good job of it. It was good.
He's an underrated comedic actor.
He's very good at that. I agree with you. All right, so Niners at 9. We got a situation. We got a developing situation with your San Francisco 49ers. The one you knew about, which was very predictable. No, I shouldn't say predictable. Brandon Ayuk. He came out a little over a week ago demanding a trade. They're now calling it, and even Kyle Shanahan has called it a sit-in or a hold-in, not even a holdout, because he's been showing up, not practicing, but he's been around. And so it does feel like that.
This seems like a cash grab.
As well as an area that can be fixed. I don't think there's the biggest leverage play you can have when you're a holdout is to not show up and kind of have these crazy demands and a real threat. And, the Niners are still, he's under contract. He's still in a spot where the Niners, he could hold out and have his demands. And if that's what he really truly wishes to do, then it could move the needle a little bit more. But I think they will work that out. I also think out of necessity, they will work out Trent Williams, but this is a different animal here. And it's not to slight Brandon Ayuk. It's more to really praise the value of Trent Williams. And, when a team is built and it takes everybody in football, especially to be successful, you need all 11, even if you're weaker at certain positions. But they try their best to not show, like, hey, this player's more important than others. And maybe that's shown sometimes financially. But the quarterback is so important. But a left tackle, a Hall of Fame left tackle, and the best left tackle in football, I mean, come on. That is a huge, huge need for the 49ers. So when Trent Williams is not there and demanding a bigger contract, I hate to say it, and it's not my money, but pay the man his money. I don't know of any other way to do it. He's worth it. He's that good. And most importantly, he's that important. Brock Purdy's an investment, though he's not the financial investment as of now, but he will become one. This is the final year, by the way, of the Niners kind of in this sweet spot of having a productive starting quarterback. This isn't saying Brock Purdy's the best or the worst quarterback, but at financial value, that is the biggest win the 49ers have. A quarterback that's winning, that is playing well, last year at an MVP type level, didn't win it, but was in the conversation and being paid at a bargain. So Trent Williams isn't being paid at a bargain and wants more money, and you got to pay him. McCaffrey's not at a bargain. Ayuk's trying to become not at a bargain. Kittle, Debo, they've had to pay these guys. Greenlaw, Warner. They've got a lot of great players. Again, this is a good problem to have, but you got to make it work. And if you're the 49ers and you're that front office, you've got to find a way to pay Trent Williams. There's just no other way around it. And when you talk about leverage and you talk about being good at something and something in an area of need and necessity, and Trent Williams is in a sweet spot. I don't think he wants to retire. I don't think he wants to go to another team. I think he's playing hardball, but in a fair way. He understands his value. He understands what he means to this team, what he means to the organization that is trying to get to that next step of winning the Super Bowl. They've shown they can get there. They are one of the favorites again. They've got a great roster, a good play caller, a good defense. I mean, there are not a lot of flaws with the 49ers. I said it earlier in the show when we were doing leading off. Their offensive line, I would say, is above average, but it's above average because you've got an excellent left tackle in Trent Williams. The best. You remove him, that O-line's a problem. The running game's not the same, featuring an MVP candidate in Christian McCaffrey. The passing game, not the same, featuring what was an MVP candidate last year in Brock Purdy. Ability to be game changers in Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and other weapons they're adding in Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, and everybody else that they have. You need all the pieces, but the one that you need probably the most, it's him or Purdy or McCaffrey, really, to me. But these three guys, they can't lose. And not, if they're injured, they're injured. Look at the Niners last year. Remember the games that Trent Williams missed? The beginning of the year was like, who's going to beat the Niners? Then they had that little weird spell where they didn't look very good against Cleveland and that awful game against Minnesota. Not a coincidence he was out. His impact on every game, on every snap, when you've got an elite player at a position, at an important position, that helps move every other part of the offense, you got to pay the man. I mean, it stinks in that part. Again, I think that's been, I've described before, the biggest separation, I think, between us as fans and athletes. Like, how could the guy not want to pay for that, play for that? It's like, well, because he knows you got to know your value, your shelf life, your limited time of making this kind of money. And it's what you got to do. Like I said, pay the man his money. So we'll keep our eye on that. We'll keep our eye on Brandon Ayuk as the contract negotiations continue. Certainly the camp continues and practices continue, but we'll keep our eye on that as we continue with Niners at 9. When we come back, remember that Snickers commercial? Or was it? Yeah, it was Snickers. Want to get away? Well, there was a moment yesterday from a team that I support that felt like that. We'll let you hear that. And also there's a little bit more to that. We'll explain, and more straight ahead, including celebrity birthdays to end the show with Crosstalk with Styles and Watkins as we continue here on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, A's lefty Hogan Harris spent the first 5 seasons in the organization dealing with injuries and threw less than 200 innings during that time, but now his promise is coming to fruition. In the first game of the Astros series at home, Harris, making his 9th start this year, blanked the Astros over 6 2/3 and lowered his ERA down to 2.98.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver. That includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay to store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Again, Carmichael Dave on vacation with the fam. I think he finally arrived to the parts that he was trying to get to. I heard from him on the cell phone here a little while ago. He's been in the chat today. Oh, he's still there. He's checking in with people. You can talk to Dave there. But he will be back with us. We'll all be back full strength here in a couple of weeks. But let's go to our guy. Oh, is this our guy, Steven? Steven, good morning.
What? Hey.
Hey.
It's a solo show with Jay Ross, dude. It's been a while since these have gone off, haven't they?
That's never solo. I got Chris. I got you. I got the peeps. We're all hanging out together.
True.
Yeah. How are you doing?
My future boss Ralad back there is still here. You know what I'm saying? I forgot about him.
Are you going to be a good employee for Chris?
Of course I am, dude. I'll be the best employee. Okay. I cannot overshadow you or Dave. But I'll be the best.
We got a history. We got a track record that we got to try to erase, but that's okay. What's going on today, Steven?
Oh, not much, man. Just checking in, man. This whole BA thing's kind of got me. The part that bothers me is the fact that I feel like there's just a slight level of immaturity behind this. Granted that this kid is, he's still a kid and he's still like 25, 26. Or whatnot, but I feel like there's ways to go about contract negotiations, and with the way that he's been going about it, with the whole Instagram posts with his girlfriend and him talking to is it Jaden McDaniels or is it just Jaden Daniels? Because I'm confused.
Oh yeah, he's
Jaden McDaniels, the basketball player, right?
Yes, he's Jaden Daniels, the quarterback. Yes, former teammate at Arizona State. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
But like the phone calls between him and all that, and it just seems like he's hurt. He wants to stay, but at the same time he's conflicted because he wants his money, and he's hurt on that part as well. He wants to feel valued, but at the same time everyone else is getting paid, so he wants to get paid too, because he feels like he's put in his work and his time and the effort as well. So there's something about it that just doesn't really seem kosher about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a clip from George Kittle the other day to kind of close this up. I saw a clip from George Kittle, and he's like, it's like contract negotiations are like braces. You don't want them.
Right.
You hate them. You absolutely hate them. You despise them. But once they're off, you forget they're there. You completely forget that you even had them. For the rest of your life. So just get through the bad stuff, get through it all, and then, sign that contract and go. So I'm hoping it becomes a lot less messier because I feel like it's just really messy.
Yeah. And then
Dave, enjoy your vacation. Let me close this out. Dave, enjoy your vacation. Jay Ross, solo show, holding it down like always, man. Thank you for your time, as always, boys. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Steven, for checking in. And then at the end of that braces analogy, then smile. Show off those pretty teeth. That's the way it works. Chris, did you have braces? Did you ever go through that?
I did.
How long?
3-4 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I kind of fast track. The worst thing I had to have that palate thing, like that widened the top of my mouth.
Uh-huh.
Like it's literally like a key, and you crank it. You could feel like some days, the very beginning, you could feel like your mouth expanding. Oh, it's brutal. I had that. You probably didn't have that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but I never had. Do they still have headgear or neck gear or anything?
I have
like that?
no idea how it works anymore.
Yeah. Some of the stuff like Invisalign. I mean, it's probably all different nowadays, but yeah, I agree with that, and I agree actually with what Steven said about Brandon Ayuk. I think he has handled this differently. That was my question yesterday. I said, look, I think the Niners want him. I think the Niners have shown that. Why wouldn't they want Brandon Ayuk? Does Brandon Ayuk want to be on the Niners? And I don't know if it's just been a little bit odd to me, a little off-putting, a little weird, like he said, just through social media posts, some cryptic things. I just think he's been kind of a little bit different in a lot of this. And I think there was that one thing. He's like, yeah, the team doesn't even want me. No, they've never said that. They've never expressed that. They drafted another receiver. Doesn't mean they don't want you. They want another receiver in the mix. Some had thought that was more of a shot, maybe even eventually at Debo. Like they're going to have to move on from Debo Samuel. I don't know if he took it that way as a shot at him, but that's not the way I took it. So I would say they'll sort that out. The Trent Williams one, though, is I hate to say it, but it's just far more important to me. All right. Yesterday, I was talking about Big Ten Media Day and Puddles, the duck from Oregon, where they put it in the river there. And Chris, by the way, I might need you to play the clip because I don't know. For some reason, I've been trying to get over to this other screen. Oh, I finally did. Never mind.
I met Puddles the duck. Good duck.
You did?
I did.
Nice duck?
I did the Harlem Shake with the Oregon Duck.
Oh, wait. Where was this?
At the Pac-12 tournament in Vegas.
The Harlem Shake.
Yeah.
Does everybody remember that? Is it about time for us to start that?
I want to say that I was the first at the radio station to say, guys, we have to do this. This is going to be a big thing.
Yes.
And then I was like, no. And by the time,
the time we did it, which was a few days later, you're like, yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah. You were done with it. We
Yeah.
were like, no, this is the coolest thing.
It was like a few weeks later. It
Yeah.
wasn't a couple days.
Again, I still like that bit of trying to do these social phenomenons, like not late, like way late, like 2 to 3 years later, and think it's new or put a new spin on it. Like if we did the Harlem Shake today and did a hashtag and put it out there, would people be like, oh yeah, I remember that.
T-bowing.
Yeah, exactly. Planking. Mannequin challenge. What's been the latest? Is stuff like that still happening?
I haven't seen it, or I haven't recognized one in a while.
But there'll be something. But I talked about the Big Ten Media Day, excuse me. And a want to get away moment. I don't know if this is a sign for the team that I've loved for years, UCLA football, UCLA basketball, UCLA sports in general. Parents went there. We've had season tickets for forever. Used to go to all their games. Now I'm, Stingers up, tied into the Hornets and all that. But they have a new coach. They're in a new conference. Deshaun Foster, former Bruin, grew up in Southern California, was a coach there, and now takes over for Chip Kelly. And he was asked, there's like a big stage. They come out, you're in front of all the media, and you're supposed to make an opening statement to the group. And I don't know if this is a sign of things to come for Deshaun Foster's tenure as the head coach at UCLA or just a little blip that we'll talk about from years down the road. But this was his opening press conference statement.
Coach Foster, welcome to the Big Ten. We'll begin with your opening statement.
How you guys doing? I'm happy to be here. Glad to be a part of this great conference. Finally putting two great emblems together, UCLA and the Big Ten. We're a school that's won, 123 championships, so this fits us being right in this conference. Football-wise, we're just excited. I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA. It's us and USC. I'm just basically excited, really. That's it. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Multiple.
Who prepped you for your opening statement?
This reminds me of like having to do a speech class and one of the kids forgetting that it was his turn and just being like, so I'm here to talk about the violence in movies.
And here's why I think it's not good.
Any questions?
Yes. Now, that was awkward. That was weird. He seemed a little bit uncomfortable. Now, in fairness, now this is going to sound like me being a Bruin homer, and that's fine. I am. I did see, because that was everywhere. Like, that was, people were poking fun of it, and I get it. Like, that, I don't have anything to defend that. I mean, I think I actually did see someone, you sent me the first post, and I was reading some of the comments, like, did he realize what he was doing? Is he okay? Then there was like, actually, this is admirable, but that was like his authentic answer. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going with admirable.
I would like to know if he knew that he was going to go up and, like, did he know that, was it just, did he think like, oh, I'm just going to go up there and answer a couple of questions?
Yeah, like
did he know there's going to be an opening statement?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of thing. I mean, every once in a while we get asked to do things, like speak at things. Like I generally, it depends on what it is, but like if it's, hey, this is what we'd like to talk about. Okay, I'll come prepared to talk about that. But if it's, hey, you're speaking in front of a group, well, I'd like to know a little bit more about the group. Hey, I'd probably do better with questions if you guys have some questions, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself or what I do and then go. But like, he just didn't seem prepared. And that's partly on him, but probably also on the people at UCLA, like the sports information director that does football is like, hey, coach, first year head coach, new to the conference, say a couple things about the team, and then open up.
In reality, he could have said like, hey, we're proud to be here. We're proud.
Yeah, it started fine.
College tradition, 123 championships. Yep. We are very happy to be here in the Big Ten.
Two emblems together. UCLA, Big Ten, excited for that. USC and us coming from LA, we're excited to see you this new.
Maybe throw in a joke. Sorry, we don't have a big duck in the river.
Yeah, perfect. That was great, Chris. I'd be like, hey, good PR move. This is how we'll do it. And then take questions. And then you go from there. Now, the from there part, I did see. He actually did fine on the answering of the question. He actually was good. That was not. And it was awkward in the pause. Like you were counting the length of the pause. What did you get to?
12 seconds. And it wasn't really, it was like when he says like, we're USC is also in LA. There's a couple seconds, then more.
Well, and even we're from LA. Like, really, coach? I don't know anything about UCLA, but I got a feeling that you're from LA.
It would have been great if someone just yelled out, then why do you play in Pasadena?
Technically not. Don't know if that's a sign of things to come, but hopefully not. They're not predicted to do very well this year. I will say, you're talking about speech classes. I did take speech in college, and I got more comfortable. I'm more comfortable now than I've ever been as far as speaking in front of people. And there's plenty of people, that's one of their biggest fears. And I say doing this, like, I don't know how you feel like when you turn the mic on, who you're talking to, but literally like you're talking to me and Dave. Like, I think I'm talking to you.
Yeah. I always get scared when someone says, oh, I heard you say this the other day. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah, they're listening. Or if someone does text me, like they go, hey, I'm listening to the show. Then actually my mind shifts, like I'm talking to Jim, because Jim texts me and like, oh, he's listening in the car or somewhere on the app. And I'm like, now I feel like in my mind, now if there's thousands of people out there, I don't think of it that way. So it's a little bit different if I'm speaking in front of people. But Chris, my best example where I was afraid, like nervous, afraid. I didn't want to do it, but I needed to do it. I was running for like student council, class council. I don't know what it was called in high school. And yes, there was, 24 people. And I knew I didn't want to go first, but I kind of wanted to be in like the first 8 or so.
You didn't want to go first, but you wanted to get it over with quickly.
Yes, because the anxiety was building. I was 23rd out of 24. Now, here's where
even your friends are like, ooh.
Here's where so everybody's lost attention. Like nobody's. I mean, if I was on the other side and I'm in the assembly, I'm like, okay, when's Chris going to be done? Or somebody said something funny. Okay, that's cool. Or I don't care. When's my friend going to be up? Make my noise for them. I was 23rd, person number 22. I'm not going to say her name, not that anybody out there would know her. She fainted.
Oh,
she absolutely fainted in her speech.
In my speech class, there was a girl that almost fainted several times.
Yes.
So much so that the teacher finally just said, like, hey, just do your speech and sitting down.
Oh, well, that's good. So, I mean, she faints, staff, administration come over, take care. Like, she's okay. All right, next up, Jason Ross. I'm like, I'm sure I just mumbled. Nobody, I don't think even heard a word I said, cared, but it was kind of like the icebreaker for me. I'm like, well, as long as I don't do that, and I didn't.
So I guess Carrie's dropping out.
Yes, and just vote for me. I won, everybody. Well, it was like 1 of 10. I don't know what it was.
Dork.
Yeah, exactly. But then I got impeached. No.
Embezzlement, Jason?
Skeletons in the closet, and they just threw me out. All right, what to watch. Also, this date in sports history got some good anniversaries coming your way next.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasting it all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531. If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Whitey here reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Chris and I were sharing during the break our fainting speech stories of people that were fainting in our classes. Well, mine was a auditorium. Like this was a one of those things where the whole school was in the auditorium. So you're talking in front of everybody. I remember just being so nervous and anxious. And again, I don't know if that was the icebreaker of being speech giver. 23 out of 24, number 22 fainted. And there's just a commotion. I just powered through that. And I'm sure I just mumbled and read my speech. I will say this, though. The last time I had to do, it was an honor. I really wanted to do this. My son had to go through a bone marrow transplant. The person that saved his life, I mean, is my hero forever, Charles, unfortunately, in the last couple of months, passed away. It was just awful, awful scenario. Went up to a celebration of life, and his daughter, Chris, asked me to speak. I'm like, absolutely, I'd love to. So she goes, okay. And I didn't want to have something. I knew what I wanted to say, but I wasn't going to write anything. I'd like to just speak. And she goes, but we're going to have you go first. I said, oh, that's fine. That's good. I'll be ready. And then I got up there and I'm ready to go. And she goes, okay, and I'm nice crowd or whatever. And the first thing I say is like, well, oh no. And I was just, I couldn't get it together. I just got super emotional. I'm like, wow, well, I mean, it was authentic. It was, I was anticipating like just having this. I mean, it was still thoughtful and emotional and from the heart, but if you start that way, whoo, it was, I was tough to collect myself.
You wouldn't be able to do that in my family.
Why? Because you'd laugh at me?
No, like the entire family would
laugh?
Like, yeah,
that honestly might have helped.
I would have gotten an uncle saying, thought you did this for a job.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe people were thinking that, and I don't know, a lot of people there didn't know me, but I'm like, well, those of you that don't know, I'm actually talk for a living, but I think I even said, for those of you that don't know, I talk for a living. And I was so emotional, and but it was heartfelt, but man, I think if you get there is fine, but I started there and I couldn't regroup. Then finally I did. Then, I tried to be funny and I got some funny things and people laughed, but afterwards got a lot of nice compliments, but it's like, yeah, it's not the way I envisioned it going, but I couldn't help it.
And the thing with like in situations like that, you get a lot of leeway because there's a lot of people feeling the exact same way.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about someone that taken too early, but someone that saved my son's life. It means the world to me. I'm taught, and my son's, it was a lot that does happen. And I just had to own it. Went with it. When was the last, have you had to give a speech in front of a large enough amount of people in a recent amount of time? Or
I can't think of anything. And I'm sure I've gone up and like, hey, whatever.
How are you on wedding speech?
I'll give you. It's the same.
You had to give one, or
it's the same speech I give every time.
You give the same wedding speech,
or it's expected.
Okay. Are you going to say it, or
would you like to? Would you like to hear it?
Sure, if you're comfortable with it. Is it? I'm guessing it's short.
Yes.
Okay, so whatever. You're either the best man, or you just want to say something at the wedding. This is what you say.
Money comes and goes. We all know this. But the most important thing in life are the people in this room right here, right now. Salute me, familia.
Nice. Is that from something?
That's 5.
Come on. How did I know? How did I know it was from something else? Does it work?
It does. And like, what's great is the people that don't know me that don't have no idea what movie it's from. They'll come up to me. It's like, that was really good. It's like, it was short, but it was very memorable. Thank you very much.
And I would say, look, I'm not a professional speech giver, let's say, but brevity is important.
Very important.
I mean, unless you are the most engaging and you've got everybody, that's great. But still, I don't think, barring something just absurdly short, like, that's fine. Like, if you want to get emotional, you want to get funny, poignant, whatever it might be, still think like a minute, 2 minutes. You start to get farther along. It's like, okay, let's especially if you're at a wedding, you're not the show.
Exactly.
You're not the show. So that'd be the only bit of advice, but good one. Fast 5. What's the one I always think of too? Wedding Crashers. When he's like, Owen Wilson's trying to warn her, like, no, don't. It's like when and it's like it just lands crickets, and then it's like from the heart.
Is that? And he goes, and it stops right here.
Yes. What to watch today? We got day baseball. Giants and Dodgers. Excuse me. Logan Webb versus Clayton Kershaw today. Check that out. Always looking forward to Logan Webb. Clayton Kershaw is back. I said day baseball. I want to confirm that's day baseball. I'm not certain that is. Yeah, it is. 1:10 today. You got the A's beginning a new series at the Angels. Feel free to check that one out today. This date in sports history. We mentioned July 25th, 1990 earlier. Roseanne Barr sings her rendition of the national anthem at the Padres-Reds game. We found out that Chris was in San Diego at the time, maybe on a trip to SeaWorld.
Most likely
to
either
SeaWorld.
Going to SeaWorld or going to El Centro.
Said that with a passion. July 25th, 1984, Michael Jeffrey Jordan scored 14 points as the U.S. men's basketball team beat a team of NBA players 91-85 in Southern California in their final prep before the Olympics. And July 25th, 2003, the movie Seabiscuit was released. Grossed nearly $150 million and was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. I have seen the movie. What's that?
Never saw it.
I saw it for the first time while waiting at jury duty. It was one of the movies.
That's one of the movies that they picked?
That they were playing. I'm like, oh, here's Seabiscuit, and had a lot of time to wait, and I was watching Seabiscuit. But I didn't see it when
you
it
stay
came
in the
out.
room there, huh?
What's that?
You stay in the room there.
Don't you have to? Or you can move around a
Yeah,
little
you can
bit.
go. I usually go to like a spot where nobody's at, read a book.
Oh. You're a book reader?
When I'm at jury duty.
When was the last time you read a book? Last time I had jury duty. Yeah. I haven't had that summon in a while, but I'm sure it'll be coming sometime very soon. All right, when we return, it's the moment. The guys will be in. Styles and Watkins. We also have celebrity birthdays. We'll find out what's coming up on the show, but celebrity birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. That and more straight ahead.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Styles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream, but it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with the commercial auto insurance quote online, so your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Grab the keys to a new fuel-efficient Toyota. Let's go! Hit the open California road this summer with incredible MPG and peace of mind. With fewer fill-ups, you can explore further and make the most of those long summer days. Choose from Toyota's 16 hybrid and electrified models, more than any other brand, and go the distance with Toyota's class-leading fuel efficiency and reliability. It's time to make this summer one to remember. Toyota. Let's go places.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt Power Tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools at better prices. For more info, visit FastenersInc.net. Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Harmony. I love you just Tyler Rich. Dasha. Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by McKee Brothers Plumbing and Booter Incorporated and Dawson Oil Company.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Woo! Yeah. Oh. Feel the excitement.
Let's kick it.
Let's kick it. What is up, Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins? Chris, another impressive shirt.
Wow, impressive.
You have been
turn to the left, Chris. Oh, nice.
Yes. So you can be impressed by what you see on your phone, huh?
Yeah.
You can be swayed into purchase.
These were Etsy purchases.
That's good. They look good.
Great, yeah.
Again, the updated numbers. DeRozan.
Great.
Why is DeRozan the featured player now all of a sudden?
I think it's, just to state the newness, I guess.
Okay.
Alan was thrown off by
The
De'Aaron's
Brendan
mustache. He was like, De'Aaron has a mustache? And I was like, yeah.
That's a little aggressive of a mustache, right?
Does De'Aaron have a mustache?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes.
Not like
Wait,
that.
why am I not remembering De'Aaron with a mustache?
Because he doesn't
Or is it
have
just
It's
like
more
a little-
pronounced when he has his hair shaved down a bit.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have one. Not like that.
And
Nothing
Sabonis
like
full
us.
beard right there. Yeah. I
Full
guess.
beard, yeah.
Is that a goatee for DeRozan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That beard is a little
classic, though.
aggressive on.
It is a bit aggressive.
On Sabonis, yeah. It's a bit much.
Yeah. But
He
nice.
got his old hair, too. Yeah.
How many?
I mean, you got your
how many
Anchorman shirt on.
Stay classy.
Yeah.
I wore this in Vegas, and Monty commented on it like
That's
2 or 3 times.
A very Monty thing.
He was very.
He
love
probably,
that shirt.
yeah. Him
She let
liking
him
Anchorman tracks.
Yeah.
You should get him one.
Yes. I should.
Yeah,
I
actually.
should. In a vest.
In a vest.
Yes.
In a vest
Oh,
version.
my gosh.
How are you guys?
Vest.
Great.
Yeah.
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 Things are good.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rolling right along.
Yeah.
So real quick, what was that sandwich you brought back for Verlad?
It's Muffuletta.
Muffuletta. or
What's
muffuletta.
in that?
All right, Chris, you ate it. It's multiple meats. I don't even.
Yeah, it's like mortadella.
It's like a meat sandwich.
Mortadella, salami.
It's like an Italian type deal.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
there's like a kind of like an olive salad.
Well, it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is in a muffuletta sandwich? Muffuletta recipe? It was big though. It's a beast, huh?
Yeah, it was big and flat.
Yeah. Well, that was
So like a
it was.
top
Yeah,
it
it was-
vacuum seal.
yeah.
Did it return to form, Chris, or
It
was
came up a little bit, but
I mean, that looks good.
I don't know if that's quite the one. The one thing that threw me off. So I had it years ago in New Orleans, and the green olives. It's just a lot lot of them,
Yeah,
and it's
like
a
a
strong
tapenade,
taste.
I'm in.
There's some oil, the meats and
Yeah.
cheeses, the bread is the key, but
looks great.
We vacuum sealed it. Took about a day.
Yeah.
It was about a day old, but I think it worked.
Great.
He ate half of it. No, he got half of it. Ate a quarter of it for what? Dinner last night?
for lunch, and then had half of a quarter for dinner.
He still has another portion, so it's
Wow.
a lot of sandwich.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a week if I had the whole thing.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot of work there, but did you have po' boys in Philly or just mainly cheesesteaks?
Mainly cheesesteaks and the pork sandwiches with the broccoli rabe.
Ooh, what's that?
Yeah, it was the #1 sandwich in America, like, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now at Reading Terminal.
Porchetta?
Check that out.
Porchetta?
I don't know. No, it's not that. It's just like not pulled pork, but it's just shaved pork with broccoli rabe. And
What's broccoli rabe?
It's our guy.
broccoli rabe. It's bitter.
Oh, I've never heard.
What am I missing here?
No.
What is it?
I'm not actually sure,
Okay.
but it's always on Chopped, and I know it's bitter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. All right.
we need Dave for that one.
Yes. What are your Dave's been chiming in on the chat. What are your thoughts on him chiming in on the chat while he's on vacation?
Weird.
Yeah, it seemed like he was having a rough
morning.
Yeah. Well, it was a long
morning.
journey.
Yeah.
He had extra hours. I mean, it was already a long flight, obviously, over there, but then I think he had another 7 to 8 hours of a drive that wasn't planned.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
His tweets were a little bit gibberishy.
Yeah.
It was, we're here, 8 hours, Austria, send it. What?
He's spent.
Yeah.
He's done. Yeah.
Video.
Go to sleep, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get some
Catch
sleep.
up.
Yeah.
Get right. You got a couple weeks out there, so
you have to just deal with it right now, or you're going to be completely screwed with your sleep.
That's true.
It's over.
Where's
That's
the
true.
farthest place you guys have traveled? Farthest.
Well, hopefully we don't remember this for 2 truths and a lie, but Holland.
I've gone to Holland. Okay.
Wow.
How about you?
Honestly, probably Mexico. I haven't been further
Well, that's a
east
journey.
than Texas.
That's the furthest.
That's the furthest east I've been. Yeah.
You got to go
I
east,
know,
brother.
I know.
Croatia.
It's a little too cold, but
Party Croatia. Heard it's beautiful.
West is the best. Best
you know,
coast.
Yeah.
West Coast best.
I still need to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America's Hat.
Yeah.
Check that
Tim
out.
Hortons.
Yeah.
It's great.
We were talking about Vancouver. I think I'd like to.
Poutine.
Vancouver or Montreal for me.
Yeah. What's coming up on the show today, guys?
We are breaking down really 11:15. We are doing a segment where it's the Kings make a deep playoff run. If there's one thing, you can only say one thing. And what's the main thing would be the reason why the Kings would make that deep playoff run.
So it's more Kings related than the rest of the West related, or is it?
It's about the Kings.
Okay.
Well, I guess you could say, yeah, but if you want to
It's
say
not going, 5 people on each of these
No,
teams.
come on.
Yeah. No,
Play
I
the
think,
game.
I think there's a path.
Play the game, Jason.
That's been my statement. I don't know whether it's accurate or not, but I firmly believe, like if you say kind of that statement, if everything goes right, honestly, I think there's about 11 teams that can finish first.
It's crazy.
11. I haven't done
Roughly.
the math, but yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's
OKC
not
showed
insane,
us,
definitely,
and they
yeah.
technically were tied with Denver, right? And Denver
Right.
could do it.
Yeah.
Minnesota was one back.
Mhm.
The Kings were close to doing it a year ago. Why couldn't if everything went right, the Lakers,
Sure.
who am I missing? Memphis from 2 years ago was the 2 seed.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of. I'm just saying
Getting a
not,
little loose, but
not
it's
getting
okay.
out of the West.
Yeah.
I'm saying being the 1 seed. So the regular seed, like Dallas got out of the West. I
Yeah.
don't think they were the best team, but they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But also in that statement, then that means there's some teams that are going to miss.
Yes.
That are good.
Yeah.
Like the Kings.
Yep.
Missed, and the Warriors, and so on and so forth.
So yeah, that's
I think it's
coming up
similar.
at 11.
Okay.
Obviously, Niners with training camp going on.
Yes.
And all the hold ins and hold outs and hold sideways and hold diagonal.
Yeah. When's our contract holdouts or hold ins?
Hmm.
Coming up?
Well,
stay tuned.
Round
Is
the
that a
corner.
tease?
Yeah. Round
Yes.
the corner.
That's
Yeah.
after Temple at 10.
That's right.
Yes.
By the way, yeah, you really got me going yesterday, and the Giants were the brunt of that anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I let them have it.
Okay. And they responded with Robbie Ray. I mean, I saw the
That's
first
right.
season, like,
Yeah.
what is going on? He's a mess, and then he was great.
Yeah, he
great.
was great, and they have about 6 days to figure out if they're going to be buyers, sellers, or
They're
do
never
nothing.
sellers. They never admit that they should be sellers.
No, because if you sell, I mean, what's Farhan? Why is
Right.
he here?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He's not going to be there for the new prospects.
And if you want to do super optimistic, if everything went right for them, like if they could get into a series with that 3-man pitching, that front end, that could be great. But good luck.
Good luck.
Robbie Ray yesterday, as I didn't watch the game, but I checked in on the stat line. There was a point in which he had 4 hitless innings, but he had given up a run.
Right. It was in the first.
Very
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah. Hit by pitch,
Hit by
multiple
pitch.
walks,
Yeah.
walked in a run.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's just
okay,
like, what is the stat
38
line?
pitches
I was
or
so
something.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my buddy text me. They sent down Hayden Birdsong for this.
Yeah. And then by the
And he
end,
cooked. Yeah.
Robbie Ray for MVP.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, guys. We got to get to celebrity birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together quite like Crumble Cookies. Sounds good right now.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Is he coming tomorrow?
I don't know. You're kind
Yeah.
of requesting, huh? Do we need a little
It's
jolt
time.
of cookie? It is.
It
time.
is
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
It's time. It's fair.
I don't think we've had a summer cookie.
I agree. And I'd like
Yeah.
to see what the recipes are.
Yeah.
See if we can taste them for ourselves.
That's right.
I'm going off birthdays for a minute here. I
Oh.
want to test your knowledge. I'm guessing. Let me see, age-wise, blah, blah, blah. I think you guys watch this show. I'm going to go with a yes.
Okay.
On this date, in what year did the television show Good Burger come out?
Oh.
In what
television
year?
show?
I'm sorry. Wait, wasn't it a TV show?
Yeah.
It was on all that, but it was a movie.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
Oh,
have it
that's
wrong.
true.
That's where I was confused.
So it
All
must
right.
have been the movie.
Yeah.
What year did the movie come out?
Mm.
Man,
I'm going to.
So it was part of all that. It was that's
it was a segment.
It was
yeah, our skit.
But the movie was based off of that.
Yes.
Right.
So I guess I have the movie here.
I'm gonna say 1997.
God, that's what I was gonna say.
You can say it?
I'll say 98.
Yeah. 99.
Isn't it amazing how good you guys? I'm like, it's 97. You guys all wanted to say 97, so Chris was right, but you guys were on it. One of my all-time favorite movies on this date, Step Brothers.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I think
What year?
that might be number one for me. I want to say this movie came out. I think it's earlier than we would think. I'm going to say 2008.
Okay.
It feels early, but
I actually think based in
Sacramento, by the way.
I think it's 04.
There's a lot. I'll show you.
Okay. 04?
04.
08. Hey, we got a
I was
separation
thinking
here.
between 07 or 08, so I'm going to say 07.
Okay, we have a correct answer, and it's 2008.
Let's go.
Chris, you got it. So wait, go back to the Sacramento part.
Yes.
I don't movie.
Like
I don't
they
know
filmed here?
No,
'Cause
so
it
the film is so if you look, I took screenshots here. This is Seth Rogen in that scene
Yes.
where they fart in the interview.
Yes.
That is clearly the Kings. That's the Kings' old logo.
How did you find that? That's really
Okay.
hidden.
Here is a Raiders or a Kings sticker on
I see the Raiders bigger
in the
one up
Raiders
top.
one. Here, this is Derek's their brother's sales thing, 916.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'll show it to you
Because
during
I
the
don't
break.
think there's
But
any
it wasn't
verbal.
filmed.
It wasn't
was just-
filmed
it's
in
just set
Sacramento for
in
just
Sacramento.
some reason. They never mentioned
They never-
Sacramento
yeah, I was saying there's
once
no
or
audio
anything like
part of
that.
it.
But there
Good
is
catch.
Yeah.
Before your guys' time, but you know the movie, whether you saw it, I don't know. But do you know on this date when the movie Caddyshack was released? What year?
I don't know.
Did any of you guys see it?
My dad tried to show me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I wonder if it
Didn't quite
to
hit.
me it was a classic for me, but like if you're like, oh, it's not even any good.
1981.
83.
I'll say 79.
You guys are close. 80.
Ah!
All right, happy birthday today to Matt LeBlanc from Friends.
Ah.
Which I didn't watch that show.
Me neither.
Yeah.
52.
57.
55.
We have a correct answer. 57. Christopher Laud. Happy birthday to Alvin Kamara.
Remember when he pulled a bus?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Tennessee's
Remember when he beat
finest.
up a guy in Vegas?
Yes. Remember that too. I was the guy.
I think he scored 4 touchdowns.
28.
31.
I don't really know what to make of his career, but he is 30.
I thought you were going to do your answer from yesterday. He's a running back, so he's 29.
No!
29. Bryce Young, looking like he's young.
He's 12.
Yes. How old is he today?
Bryce Young.
25.
24.
23.
Correct answer is 23. Happy birthday also to Jackie Christie, Alperin Shingun,
Hey.
and Billy Wagner. That's it for us.
Wow.
Styles and Watkins coming your way next.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be